He's just showing you.
Because I've seen you with the wings on, remember?
Oh.
And he showed me the wings back at the
I showed everybody but Eddie the wings.
Yes.
Eddie, hurry up and get in the game so I can show you my wings.
Hurry up.
For no other reason.
Hurry up, Eddie.
Yeah, we know.
So someone just said that they just got in after 4 hours, which I'm going to call cap on that. Unless there were gaps in there where they forgot to reset and got pushed further back.
Yeah.
Mine ended up being 2.5 hours.
Me and Tom were the same.
Yeah.
We started at like 3:30 and didn't get in till about
6. About
Yeah.
that.
6, yeah. Four?
Oh, also, by the way, Eddie, one of the Reaper weapon options is a chainsaw scythe. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, we have the same one. I dyed mine metallic blue though. If it's still
The
default, it's
is
like
it
a
the default
construction
color?
orange in my opinion.
Yeah, most gear you can dye now. I think.
Most, yeah.
Most.
If it
Because-
has an appearance slot, you can usually dye it. Well, so it would definitely have had to have been after like 6:30. I want to say it was probably close to 7 when I got in game. But that's also the later, which is where we are now. So maybe, I mean, we might get lucky.
Eddie's really moving through the queue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, I've got the stream up since I'm actually in game now, and I don't necessarily have to worry about getting kicked out of the queue for having a browser open.
Yeah.
God, so many of the various superstitions about the queue.
Yeah, well,
Respect the
considering
superstition.
I loaded up my browser, which had too many tabs up, and it automatically dropped me from the queue.
For
So,
me,
yeah.
I swear whenever I got too many messages from Discord, it would kick me. But other things, it's like I'd have a browser open and it's like, nope, can't sign in, can't get to queue, can't sign in. Close out the browser. Okay, you can sign in. You get to the queue. Okay. It's been going for a while. Maybe I can open browser. Open up browser. 2002. No browsers.
Okay, well, did we actually want to group together for something? Fate farming,
Maybe after I get through this
dungeons.
cutscene.
Okay. Oh, so you can actually have Sage?
No. MSQ.
Oh. Sorry.
I guess while we're waiting for this, so I gotta say that I like Reaper more than I thought I would.
It
Eddie's
is
an
so
it
fun,
boy.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's really dynamic looking. Like I think when you think about it, it feels a little repetitive, but like not in a bad way. It just feels like a good flow.
Well, how is it? Like, in comparison to other DPS classes?
well, in comparison to DPS classes, I can only give you Red Mage and Summoner, but I think it's simpler than my Summoner and maybe as complicated as Red Mage. I don't feel like there's a lot of outside of the fact that Red Mage has kind of a longer rotation. The Reaper seems like it flows really well and it doesn't ask a lot of you depending on whether you're in your single target or multi-target.
I mean, a lot of abilities sort of work for both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the moveset reminds me of Dark Knight, which I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but like it feels very similar to playing Dark Knight for me as far as like what buttons I'm pressing.
All right, I'm out of the cutscene. I've been told to go to Limsa
To take another boat.
to take a boat. Yes.
On a boat.
Well, it's one of those like, God damn it, go to Limsa for a boat. Duh.
So, also I powered level into 73 yesterday, so I got my Reaper to 73, and that's as far as I got.
I cleared out my tombstones of allegory and revelation, and barely maxed out my black mage. I am missing one ring and the weapon, but kind of want to continue the resistance weapons because I looked at the 530 Crypt Lurker and just saddened by the fact that I don't have quick spell speed on it and only 2 spots. Makes me sad. So
Just do something about it, David. Don't be sad.
But yeah, the way
Well-
Reaper works, like I've got looking at it right now, they've got a 3-hit single target combo.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a 2-hit multi-target combo. They have their main debuff on an enemy in a single target and AoE format. They have their their spirit attack in a single target or AoE.
Yep.
They've got their soul attack in a single target or AoE. And then they have their big money combos, which they've got a attack from the back, they've got an attack from the flank, and they've got an AoE. But the attack from the way that the attack from back and attack from flank work is you hit them with the attack from the back, and it activates enhanced attack from the side. You use the attack from the side, and it activates enhanced attack from the back. But they're both resource spenders.
Although there is an ability that lets you override that necessity for a couple of ticks, or maybe lack of a better term.
Okay, like the
counts.
Dark Knight's thing that allows them to use free. Trying to remember the abilities. Let me just switch. Blood Spillager and Quietus.
Yeah, that's I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's problem is I don't know. I think is it Gluttony that you're talking about?
Probably.
No, Gluttony comes a little later for Reaper. I'm talking about that one ability that says you don't have to worry about the direction when for
Well,
that
it's either that or
requirement.
Delirium.
No, that's true north. That's different.
Oh, actually, that's a good question. I just realized how much of this has changed.
Of which?
Dark Knight. It honestly didn't look like much when I checked it last time.
I
When
didn't
looked
use
at
it
the
very
change,
much.
It didn't look like they changed a ton.
Yeah.
Like the timing might have changed a little bit. Some of the numbers probably got shifted a teeny bit. But
Oh,
for the
hey,
most
I get
part, it
special
feels-
expansion ability.
Expansion ability?
Shadowbringer.
Oh. Lols.
Yes.
Yeah, which is ironic that you get Shadowbringer at the end of Endwalker.
Wait, 20-second recast time?
For what?
Salt and Darkness. I think it might replace Salt and Earth. Salted Earth.
Hmm.
Salt and Darkness. It's a build off of something. Because notice how
okay.
you can't set to it in a hotbar. Something happens at 86 that creates that.
Well, it's probably based off of using Salted Earth first.
I'm not seeing the combination though. Because there should be a clear combination.
Well,
Yeah,
it
I know.
says all enemies standing on the
never mind.
corrupted patch of Salted Earth.
All
So-
enemies standing in salted earth take additional unaspected damage. It's like a nuke. That's like, I mean, that's like literally a holy's worth of damage.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think that's bigger than a holy.
Actually, that's the strangest thing. Why is it on a 20-second recast timer? It's not like you're going to be able to spam Salted Earth. Or is there a chance of spamming it somewhere?
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I don't see an enhanced Salted Earth here in the traits.
Yeah, I know. That's what's bugging me is that there's nothing here that explains that. Because the fact that that's an 86 means there should be something at 86 to create that enhancement. But there's no action at 86 and there's no trait at 86.
Oh, maybe I haven't learned it yet.
What do you mean?
Well, wouldn't the abilities that I would learn from the trainer not show up on the list?
From the quest, they should, I think, shouldn't they?
Maybe. I don't know.
They'll be
Oh,
on
no,
your
maybe-
list.
Maybe they
Like,
do, maybe they didn't.
Well,
Wait, no.
let me. There's an easy way to check this. Thaumaturge.
Oh, literally just look it up.
You know, look at a character that I have absolutely nothing in.
Well,
Okay.
that's not going to be a fair match.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't have anything on the
any
jobs.
job stuff.
And it's only up
Also-
to. Yes, I know.
Also, I am sad that I lose my highwayman hat.
wah, wah. Sorry.
Remember, I used to have like the gunslinger hat for my bard and machinist, but I can't wear it as a bun.
I thought they were fixing that for the expansion.
They
Yeah,
might.
yeah, that sounds nice, doesn't it?
Well, I thought that was something on their to-do list.
It's technically is on the to-do list, but it's one of those low priority because it affects all Viera and Hrothgar, which is 3 races.
So yeah, Reaper's really good. The one that I only played with a little bit, just enough to get the quest, the level 70 quest for it, but didn't do much more after that, was Sage. I don't know, Fate Test, did you do more on Sage than I did?
Maybe I'm at 74.
Oh, okay, then yeah, shoot, yeah.
But yeah, here's an example. Here's an example of what I was looking for. So I'm looking at Bard. Bard has an action at 86 Blast Arrow, cannot be assigned to a hotbar, that requires to be under the effect of Blast Arrow ready. So then I go look at Traits 86, and there's Enhanced Apex Arrow. Grants Blast Arrow ready upon executing Apex Arrow after the Soul Voice gauge has reached 80 or higher. So it's something specific that creates the scenario that activates that special ability. So that's why I'm a little confused that I'm not seeing what creates the scenario for that specific ability under Dark Knight.
Yeah, I was having that issue with Summoner. Summoner is way different. I need to relearn Summoner altogether.
Oh,
While we're
baby,
talking about
a
this-
triple.
What?
While we're talking about this, I'm going to continue my MSQ.
Okay.
And I actually mean that literally for once. Oh, baby, a triple. Paladin level 90 gets 3 abilities at level 90.
Wow.
Damn.
Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, and Blade of Valor.
Huh. Interesting.
Those sound like stances.
Don't they though? But no, they're a special combo off of Confitor.
That's what I would have thought. But having 3 of them?
It's literally it's literally in that order: Confitor, Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor.
Wait, it's just really an extended combo?
Yeah.
Huh.
So you've got Confitor, which is deals unaspected damage with a potency of 900 to target and all enemies nearby it. And then Blade of Faith deals unaspected damage to target and all enemies nearby for potency 250, 50% less all remaining. Plus, if comboing, restores MP. Blade of Truth, unaspected of 350 first target and 50% less. Combo off of Blade of Faith for restores MP. And then Blade of Valor, unaspected of 420 for the first and 50% less for each other. Combo effects, restores MP, damage over time, 80 potency for the first enemy, 50% less, and damage over time effect cannot be stacked with Goring Blade. So it's basically a super fancy Goring Blade. So the question is, what is the trait at 90? No, there is no trait at 90, so... But how? Because none of them can be assigned to a hotbar. So I'm guessing Confitor upgrades at 90, but there is no trait at 90. So that's another one that it looks like it upgrades, but there isn't an actual visual how does it do it. I don't know. Maybe that's another one. Maybe you got it right, and maybe it is something that you have to actually complete the quest to actually be able to see the power that does it.
So, the only way to truly know is get to 90 and see how it works.
Or look up a guide.
Or be a cheater like Eddie, yes.
Or, do, information age answer to what your question is. Look up the guide.
But, no, or you could just level up the character and figure it out yourself.
No, that's absolutely silly. That's like me going to the store, figuring out how to get to the store when I can just look up how to get to the store.
No, that sounds like organic learning.
Yeah, organic learning is overrated.
Oh.
Ooh, what'd you find?
Warrior actually gets a pretty cool ability at 82, provided people use it.
Well, it looks like something that you need to keep up, and you're only going to have a 5-second lapse.
Well,
so it says duration
on which
20
piece you're
seconds and
talking about.
recast of 25 seconds.
So Stem the Tide is a 2025, yes.
Oh.
But there's 3 pieces to the ability Bloodwetting. So piece 1 reduces damage taken 10% for the next 8 seconds. With an additional effect that every weapon skill you land gives you a 400 pot cure.
At cure potency 400.
Which is the equivalent of a cure 1.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sustain.
Additional effects. So the second piece is Stem the Flow, which reduces the damage taken by another 10% for the first 4 seconds. So that first 4 seconds, it's actually a 20% damage reduction. Decaying to 10% for the next 4. And then the third piece is Stem the Tide, which gives you a barrier that absorbs damage equivalent to 400 heal pot that lasts for 20 seconds. So it gives you damage resistance, self-healing. It gives you damage resistance and self-healing for 8 seconds, with the first 4 seconds being stronger resistance. And it gives you a shield that can last up to 20 seconds. And has a 25-second cooldown. So it should literally be activated on cooldown.
Yeah, that's insane in some ways.
Yeah, it's a little fucking powerful.
Of course, it's a question of exactly how many other things may feed into that. Like Inner Chaos and, Orogeny. Oregano.
Oh, at 84 they get enhanced equilibrium, and equilibrium also gives them a hot,
Oh wow.
a 200 potency hot, no less.
Nice. I need to double check Gunburger.
Oh, and 88 gives them a third charge of onslaught, because that's fucking necessary.
Oh, are we talking about Gunburger?
Are we talking like literally necessary or like that's just awesome necessary?
That's it. It's. I mean, at no point should you need to have 3 fucking charges of onslaught.
Because
Then
you
again,
should
I
be
can't
using
say
them.
shit because. Then again, I can't say shit because I'm a dancer and we have 3 charges of our dash.
Well, I would think it depends on the fight in question and exactly how much you're using them at their appropriate times.
True. Gunburger. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Ready to coming up.
Yeah, I
Hyper
remember
velocity
that.
activated under Ready to Blast. Ooh. Oh fuck yes. Okay, here we go. I'm here for this one.
Okay.
You ready for your warrior-like ability?
Oh boy. Yes. Let's see what it is.
1, 2, 3 pieces. Also, Heart of Corundum reduces damage. Okay, so for the first 8 seconds, and this is another one, 25-second cooldown. So this one you should be fucking spamming. For the first 8 seconds, reduces damage taken by a party member or self by 15%, which means you can target this onto allies up to range
Like a
up to 30 yards.
sage.
Additional effect: when targeting a party member while under the effect of brutal shell, you share their shell. You share the shell to them.
Hmm.
Secondary effect, or well, I guess tertiary effect at this point, grants clarity of corundum to target, which does an additional 15% reduction for the first 4 seconds. So that's 30% for the first 4 seconds, and you're
Then
giving them your shell if you have one.
so, but unlike Warrior, I can share it with people.
Yes, and also I'm not done.
Oh boy.
I'm
oh boy.
not
Oh boy.
done
Oh boy.
yet.
Quadrary effect grants catharsis of corundum, restores HP when HP falls below 50% or on duration expiration, and the HP heal is a 900 pot.
That's
The effect lasts for 20 seconds.
that's a little bit more than a heal too, isn't it? Or
Well, let's look, for example, if we were to compare against White Mage, which is my milestone. 900 potency is stronger than Cure 2. Cure 2 is a 700.
I thought Cure 2 was an 800. But that's a
Cure
lot.
1 is a 450. Cure 2 is a 700.
So 900.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Lily healing is a 700 also. Trying to see. Tetra is a 700 also. My Benison shield is a 500 potency. Let's see. I literally don't have a 700 heal. Or I mean a 900 heal.
Ah.
That heal has a higher potency than anything I can put out.
On White Mage.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. And you're still not done, or is that it?
I get a shiny. White Mage gets a shiny. It's the 4 effects. Yeah.
Okay.
I get a shiny too.
Shiny new heal.
Liturgy of
damage.
the Bell. Places a healing blossom at the designated location and grants 5 stacks of Liturgy of the Bell to self. Taking damage will expend 1 stack of Liturgy of the Bell to heal self and all party members within a radius of 20 yalms for 400 pods. This effect can only be triggered once per second. The healing blossom dissipates when all stacks are expended or the timer expires, which is 15 seconds. Any remaining stacks of Liturgy of the Bell when effect expires will trigger an additional healing effect, 200 for every remaining stack.
Ooh.
So
don't
if
get hit.
somehow I don't get hit, I trigger a 1,000, or no, excuse me, no, 200, yeah, 200 times 5, 1,000 potency AoE heal, if I somehow have all 5 stacks left.
Damn.
I
That's
take
good.
back what I said before. I do have a heal stronger.
In a very specific instance. But
Yes,
knowing
in a
you,
very-
Michael, you probably could do that.
I could probably pull it off. Okay, and now for... Oh.
Which one are you shuddering about?
Sage 90.
Oh.
Numa. Don't say it twice. Delightful. Oh, actually, wait. No, this is... So, Sage already has some really fucking badass shit. Like, they have, at 70, they get a shield called Haima, and at 80, they get a shield called Panhaima. Both have essentially the same effect, except one is the slightly weaker AoE.
Eddie's at 5,000, by the way. At least
Nice.
on my screen.
So, Haima erects a magic barrier around self or target party member that absorbs damage equivalent to a heal of 300 potency. Additional effect grants 5 stacks of Haimatinon. When the barrier is completely absorbed, a stack of Haimation is consumed and a new barrier is applied. When the effect duration expires, a healing effect is applied based on remaining stacks. So I set this shield on you, and it's literally a Russian nesting doll shield.
Jeez.
So for 15 seconds, first shield goes down, another one comes up. Next shield goes down, another one comes up. Next shield goes down, another one comes up. 15 seconds are over, you get an auto heal based on how many of those shells were left. And then, like I said, at 80, you get Penheima, which is the same thing but slightly weaker, and AoE for the entire party. So yeah, I like Sage. Can you imagine why?
No. Also, Eddie is probably saying they're ignoring us.
No, I'm listening. I'm just also looking up the red mage changes because I haven't had a chance to play red mage very much in the last couple of days.
Oh, but so the 91 though, Numa, deals unaspected damage to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 330 for the first and 40% less for remaining. So it's a decent hit. Additional effect restores own HP and the HP of all party members within a radius of 20 yalms, potency 600. So that is stronger than any white mage AoE heal. That's the quote. That's the power of like Tetra and single target Lily. Oh, and I'm not done because also restores HP to any targets under the effect of Cardion granted by you at a potency of 130. So your healing buddy, if they're in range of the AoE, gets a double heal. There are some fun toys.
Yeah, Sage looks like a lot of fun. I look forward to practicing with it more.
Also, for those that have heard about the belt situation, you can still desynth them. You can still donate them to the Doman Enclave and get full marks for them, which is what I'm doing because fuck, might as well. Uh, but yeah, all of them have the stupid, like, due to the new advancements in tailoring, belts are now useless.
Yep.
AKA,
They are no longer needed to hold up your pants.
AKA, somebody figured out how to make elastic banding on pants.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Oh shit, the Paladin 82. I was already talking about the Warrior and the Gunburger 82. The Paladin 82 is really fun.
Okay, I'll bite. What's going on with
Especially
Paladin?
considering it has a recast of 5 seconds but an oath gauge cost.
So it takes
so
from the oath gauge. Interesting.
yeah, it spends from your oath gauge, but it's infinitely more spammable if you're generating enough oath.
Jeez.
So let's see. First effect, blocking. It's Holy Sheltron, so it has the Sheltron blocking coming attacks for 8
Mhm.
seconds. Secondary effect grants Knight's Resolve, reduces damage taken by 15% for 4 seconds. Tertiary effect grants Knight's Benediction, gradually restore HP, cure potency 250 for 12 seconds.
Okay.
So it's a block, resistance, and a regen for 50 oath gauge. I can get behind that.
That sounds pretty decent for 50 oath, really.
Yeah. Well, considering regular basic bit Sheltron is 50 oath. And this is a much better version of it because it lasts longer and has the 2 other effects.
Yeah.
And then just because I gotta look at all 4 now. Where are you, Dark Knight? That one honestly is a little underwhelming compared to the other 3.
What?
Because the other 3 are like, oh, this has 12 effects. This has 18 effects.
This is like basic.
Yeah. Oblation. Reduce damage taken by a party member or self by 10%, 10 seconds, 2 charges.
On one hand, that means that there is a lot more survivability for Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it's also a question of whether certain abilities are locked behind, class quests or something.
Oh, this is
That
gonna be a
is
question
possible,
for
yeah.
Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever hear Hoary Boulder in cutscenes before?
I think that might be the first time. I don't think he's ever had a voice actor before just now.
No, I don't think he had a voice in Realm Reborn.
Well, he's kind of showed up in between in certain circumstances, but I think this is the first time we've heard him voiced. As heads up, I'm doing MSQ for everybody listening, and it's not a spoiler, but it's one of those like, huh. That's kind of what I expected his voice to be. Kind of. Maybe a little deeper, but most of what I got. And I think this is also the time that we also heard his partner. I can't remember his name right now because it's not on screen.
Courtenay or Coltonay,
Cor-
one of those.
Coltonay, yeah. I think that was the first time we also heard him too.
Yeah.
Which that one was a pretty spot on one.
Also, just because everything rhymes in the beginning of the expansions, this is probably not a spoiler, but there is going to be a two-path choice once you get settled in your first city.
Well,
Okay.
like every other time we've gotten to a new expansion, go to this
Exactly.
quest or that quest,
Yeah.
then come back.
Do you
together.
want to do this quest in this zone, or do you want to do this quest in this zone? And as always,
first.
there is no wrong answer because they're both, they're both 100% valid. They both have to happen.
I may ask you which quest you did by the quest name. If they actually give that to me or no.
I don't remember the quest name, but there will be another way that you can tell.
Okay.
Actually, here, let me say it this way, because when you are given the two choices, there's one to the left and one to the right based on where you're looking. I chose the group on the right.
So I'd want to, if I wanted to check it out, I would check the group on the left, but I'd be, once that's done, do the group on the right.
Yeah,
Correct?
if you do the group on the right first, you then do the group on the left. If you do the group on the left first, you then do the group on the right. The game will make it very clear to you what the two paths entail, and what you're doing in the areas, and what the areas are. But ultimately, you will need to do both to proceed as before. Because once you do both paths, they meet back together, and then that is what creates the path to the redacted level 81 dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Admittedly, like, I got spoiled on the boss for the second one because somebody put it as the thumbnail on YouTube, and it was like blatantly right there on my front page. I'm like, God damn it.
Ooh. So you know the boss for the 83?
For the 83, yes.
I do not. I'm not that far, and it's not been spoiled for me.
Good. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
That being said, I think the entire internet's already spoiled what the first primal is going to be.
Nope, no, not true.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I will shut it the fucketh up,
Thank you.
as Urion Shea would say.
No, it has to be a little bit more flowery.
I will immediately cease mine prattling upon thine ears.
Yes.
Of course, crafting has become very different.
Has it? It didn't feel that different to me.
Well,
I did
you lose
create
inner
something
quiet.
last night, and it felt
You lose
normal.
some of the miscellaneous stuff, such as the name of the elements, brand of the elements, patient touch.
Yeah.
And I haven't been using a lot of other abilities outside of those. So
Yeah.
it's
A lot of changes
wonky.
like that.
Like,
Because I made
Boatsing.
something last night, and all of my abilities that I used were still good, so I didn't feel the hit that you did.
I don't know, it just feels weird. Like, admittedly, I don't know how some of the more advanced crafting skills are supposed to work, so.
Ah, yes. The biker on the boat.
Of course, that's one interesting thing I have noticed.
Uh,
I think the experience bar has also been stat squished.
Shrunk.
Yeah.
Squished as well.
That's part of why. That's part of why everyone's XP on all classes and jobs got reduced to 0,
That,
is because they squished the XP bars.
that was upsetting.
Whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel fine.
Shush.
Says the person who had all max classes.
Yes, unfortunately, the keyword there is all used to have.
I don't think I had a lot of the experience on any of my crafters.
My Dark Knight was at the edge of leveling up, so my Dark Knight lost a whole level basically.
I mean, this is why we warned. Make sure that you get that last little bit.
There's no time. I couldn't do it.
Huh.
Ugh.
Oh God. No, that person I know for a fact is exaggerating. That, or they definitely messed up. Someone just logged in and said that it took them 5 hours.
I saw
But-
somebody mention 3
An hour ago.
hours and 2.
An hour ago, someone said 4 hours, and that means that they would have started at the exact same time or near enough to it. So there's no way in fucking hell.
Yeah,
I'm
no way.
straight up calling shenanigans on that one.
Eddie, I think, is at 4-3, unless I'm like 1
No,
minute
you're-
behind.
No, you're right. At the rate we're going, it might take another hour at most.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if we get started at 9, that's not the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
Well, it's also a good question of whether we'll have people show up to do the dungeon, trial. Because I have been seeing
is
the duty
accurate.
finder being sort of anemic.
That is accurate. Well, one of the challenges is that the balance of what's needed has completely been slapped in the face by the addition of Sage, and by the fact that between levels 7, basically below level 80, it's weird. It's really weird, because right now we're in this kind of weird state of flux. Below level 80 is so fucking glutted with healers that it's disgusting. But the Endwalker dungeons have been healer desperate.
Because everybody's trying to get the Sage up to 80 so they can start doing it there.
Bingo.
Mm, makes sense.
And that's why, like, when I check the duty finder, it's like tank all the way down.
Yeah, right now for a Gunburger, it's just it's that meme. It's so good, and that's this X pack. We've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. This X pack, it is a tanks market for the roulettes. Last X pack, it was a healer's market. This X patch, it's this X pack, it is definitely a tanks market. So the fact that you chose to start Gunburger, if you stick with Gunburger, you're gonna go far, kid.
I'm sticking with
I'm gonna be
Gunburger. I
crying.
like it.
And I'm gonna be crying because my tanks not necessarily my main, so I'm gonna end up having to do like a lot of. I'm probably gonna end up having to do a lot of trust, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait for 30 fucking minutes for Redacted 81.
Unless you decide to partner with me.
Yeah, which if I team up with you, then I get an auto queue because, well, but here's the thing, for 81, well, actually, here's the other thing, is technically if I queue 81 right now, like if I were to literally break party and do it right this second, I would get an auto pop. Because I'm an 81 white mage.
I'm still
But,
gonna try
like,
and work
if you
on.
were-
Yeah.
But like, if you and me were to stay partied up, and I were to go on Sage and we were to do a roulette, we would get an auto pop off of you, not off of me.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and make sure that my main, which is Black Mage, and Gunburger stay roughly about the same level. Mostly just so that it.
I gotta say something. I'm sorry. I gotta say something. I'm interrupting, and I will let you go back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Someone else just logged into my free company and said, "Hiya, everyone. That was a fun 2-hour queue."
That seems more reasonable.
Yeah. Also, I'm
So-
dealing with redacted on redacted with redacted and various redacted.
Oh, did you make it to redacted already? Oh no, you're still on the boat to redacted, aren't you?
Yes.
So
Talking
you're
to
currently
redacted.
talking to redacted.
Yes. About
Yeah.
redacted.
Okay.
Isn't that a fun conversation? That's a fun conversation.
That is a. Oh my god, this conversation. So much redacted about redacted.
So I can't
Yeah.
speak for MPX, obviously, but as far as where we're going, I think that's already been spoiled for me. So
What?
Oh,
Like-
what was that? What was
The-
spoiled?
the 2 new locations.
Well, only the
Charlotte?
Well, there's a
names.
lot more than 2, but
Okay. I mean, specific region names, I guess I don't know, but I know the greater locations.
Well, we know of Charlian, and
Yeah.
we're also Garlemald.
Yeah.
Garlemald.
That's the 2 I know. That's the 2 I know.
Garlean Empire homeland.
Yeah.
okay. So then we can remove the redacted on the fact that you're on the boat to Charlane.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Charlene.
say Garlemald on purpose,
like-
but I decided not to.
It's like, going to Garlemald. Oh,
I would think that the
no.
way we would get into Garlemald would probably be either airshipped or finally
You gonna
traveling
fly
through the
into the
burn.
Empire?
I
However,
want to say, like,
well,
we're going to be going through
in
the
secret?
Gimlet. We're going to be coming
Yeah,
from
I think we
Othard
are going
side.
to go through the Gimlet. That makes the most sense to me.
Not the burn.
And no, because the burn is kind of the long way around. The Gimlet's actually a little bit shorter. If you look at when you get those weird transitions where you look at the full map, if you look at the full map of kind of where everything is, Garlemald is closer to the Eorzean side than to the Eastern Alliance side.
Yeah, but I feel like we're going to be going through the Gimlet from Othard because nobody's going to be expecting it from that side. Because obviously they're going to be expecting it from the Eorzean side.
I mean, technically, Gimlet is on the Eorzean side because it's up against the Alamegan lands.
Oh, right.
The
I
burn
blanked
is
out on
the burn is the Kugane side.
Yeah. The burn is like the equivalent of trying to cross the Sahara. Where
Yeah,
Gimlet is more like trying to cross Death Valley.
yeah.
If I
The
had to
size
use
of the
oh, that-
Sahara.
Yeah.
Just so I can, curse myself. I haven't been kicked out of the queue in a long time.
Maybe it's finally stabilizing, at least in the sense of the amount of people trying to log in.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
because,
nice, but that would be literally the first time I've seen that since this whole thing started.
Well, the 2002, they have confirmed it is purely based off of the amount of people trying to access. So, if there's less people trying to access the queue, there's less chance of the 2002 error from happening.
So to pivot off that conversation, I wonder how we should plan for Tuesday, because, well, on one hand, I should be able to do a lot better to prepare for starting at a reasonable time next time. Like I'll be here to do that. On the other hand, I'm probably going to start at 7 because I have a meeting with the Big Brothers Big
With
Sisters.
work.
No, Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh.
Actually, wait, is that the first Tuesday? No, it isn't the first Tuesday. Okay. No, Big Brothers and Sisters. I'm signing up for that program.
Okay.
So they have their orientation
Actually,
at 6.
that would be first Tuesday.
Second Tuesday would be when I have the HOA thing, which is not this Tuesday.
Oh, he's trying to make sure Big Brothers Big Sisters and HOA aren't overlapping.
Yep.
Ah.
Because if it was, bye, Felicia.
Also, this is
Oh,
a
shoot,
friendly
I think they are
reminder for
overlapping.
anyone who needs
Dang
to
it.
hear this. If if you had any belts in your inventory, in your retainer's inventory, they are still there. If you had any belts equipped in your armory chest or equipped by a retainer, go talk to the Calamity Salvager to recover them.
Yeah.
I say this for anyone in this stream and anyone watching this stream because I have now 25 times today answered the question of yes, you do still have your belts, you just have to go reclaim them.
I remembered
So-
that they were at the Calamity Salvager. I just need to slowly get them out and then dump them into Doman Enclave.
Okay. So, good to know. Okay, that's where I thought. Okay. Thank you for the reminder. I'll have to take care of that at some point in the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, they should be there forever, but don't put it off forever because they may end up deleting those ones and zeros someday.
Mm-hmm.
At least at the Calamity Salvager. Anything in your inventory / retainer, it'll probably stick there forever.
Now, here's a quite interesting question. Should I desynthesize them maybe, or should I use them for like the Doma stuff? Because I think my desynth abilities are still on the lower side ish. I could probably bump them up a little more. So, but I wonder which one takes priority. Should I worry about the gold or should I worry about the desynth ability?
Your choice, Eddie. I'm doing the Doman Enclave not for the gold, but just to finish out the Doman Enclave.
I mean, yeah, there's that too. Yeah. Maybe that
So-
should take priority. I have to think about it.
And I personally, myself, I do recommend desynthing. And if you really want to go that route, you can desynth it and then turn in the mats back to them. If you really want to kind of best of both worlds it. Although you probably will lose a little bit of value in doing so. But
Duly
at the
noted.
same time, I go for the desynth just because when you do start getting those desynths up, you get a chance for better results.
Okay, that's a good thing to consider.
Yeah. That's why I said, it's up to you. I know somebody was like, but if you desynth it, you'll get mats that you can make better stuff with. True. But I'm not doing it for the gold. I'm just trying to finish out the Doman Enclave.
No, David. I want a definitive answer from you so I can hold you accountable if it's the choice I think was wrong and much later in the future.
You're not getting that, then. Have fun,
Now,
Eddie.
I will give you what I consider to be my definitive answer, and you can hold me accountable to this answer. The no-fault best way to do Doman Enclave is the freaking ancient coins that you get, either from doing your retainer ventures, randomly for some quests, all those like ancient bronze, ancient silver type coins.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I've been giving them my coins from my retainer duty.
Because
duties.
literally the only purpose for those coins is sell them for cash, and you're getting double cash on them. In addition to powering up the Enclave.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing anyway, so that works for me.
Well,
There
I've
we go.
gotten to level 69.
Nice.
Yeah. Eddie's at 3,500-ish.
Ah, you decided to go somewhere else other than Rollercoaster Reach.
Huh? No, I didn't. I'm still here. I walked away from the exact spot I was standing, but I'm still here.
Okay. I just decided, oh, hey, I probably should do that. Minago.
And I walked back to where I was standing, and I don't see you, so I don't understand this conversation now.
Oh, boy.
See me now?
Ah. Oh, I see you have a Laurel Gobway.
Also, I can now do the tower at Paradigm's Breach. Which means more Yorha gear to stuff in the glamour chest.
AFK for a bit.
Ooh, I can't wait to start doing
Copy
that.
Keep it short, please. Otherwise, you will lose at life.
I can't wait to do the near stuff.
What about the far stuff? I don't know if I would call that a sensible chuckle.
I'm tall enough.
But whatever, I'll take it.
Peer everybody over the brow.
It worked for me.
And time to lick.
Yes.
The Aetherite, I mean.
So how long do we think this whole super long queue time is going to be the new normal?
It's gonna probably last for at least a couple or 3, maybe all month.
Mm.
I'll
Yeah,
be
I was
honest.
gonna say 2 to 3 weeks would be my expectation, maybe as much as a month.
Okay. I'm just thinking because after today, there's going to be maybe 2, maybe 3 more stream opportunities, and then I'm going to be basically out for the holidays until like early January. So that's going to be all in up in that grill. So maybe by the time we get back from holiday break, things will be better, but not before, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, early access is really bad. Full release is going to be just as bad, possibly even worse.
Honestly, I would disagree with it being worse.
Well, I say possibly worse because potential blocks or patches.
Oop, disconnection.
You got a 2002?
I think so.
As long as you sign in as quickly as possible, you'll gain your spot back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 2002.
Or as I've been calling them, 2002s.
What a year.
Moon! Title card! Moon!
I gotta say, I really dig this title card. It makes me feel like I'm playing a completely different game.
Well, considering
That's
that,
true,
like,
because you've only seen the Shadowbringer title card.
and now you're dealing with Pizza Bagel.
Yep.
I've
Right.
seen 3 title cards.
Back in the queue. No problem.
Oh God, brain. Asher,
What?
Bagel's haunted. Bagel's haunted.
Well, it is haunted by those damnable fucking Slentars.
Oof.
Phaetus, have you messed with Summoner yet?
I have not. And that is something that I've been hearing a lot about, and I've been definitely putting off. But we're going to look at it right now.
Okay, I've spent 5 minutes with it yesterday because I had to switch to my Summoner for a quest for something that required me to be a
geez.
Summoner. And
That's
oh
gone,
my god.
That's gone, that's gone,
Yep.
that's gone.
Yep.
That's
I
gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. Holy fuck!
Yep.
You mean, what does your
I have to
screen
rebuild
look
the
like
bar.
right now?
Like half of my abilities are gray with a slash across them.
Yep. No more dots. No dots.
No dots. Okay, this one
No
I may
dots.
actually have to rebuild from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why I suggested signing in yesterday, was just in case we had to rebuild ability bars, like apparently Summoner.
Especially. Yeah, their rotation is way different. I haven't figured it out yet, but it seems like it involves having to summon Carbuncle again. Like it's like that's a need now.
Over and over and over and over and over.
It sort of, I think that what they were doing.
Oh hey,
What do you say?
That's cool.
Okay.
You ready for some Summoner 90s?
Tell me.
Sure, why not?
Summon Ifrit 2, summon Titan 2, and summon Garuda 2.
Yeah, the fun part about those is that they're supposed to be truer to their primal versions as opposed to like the energy floating versions.
Or closer to the Eden versions?
What?
Something like
Titan Cart! Titan Cart!
They're gonna look like the actual primals.
I think the.
Oh my god, the book is so fucking complex. And I mean, granted, a lot of these are pet or circumstantial, but dear God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michael's gone down the rabbit hole.
He's been summoned.
So, okay, Ifrit 2 can only be executed under the effect of Ruby Arcanum, and Carbuncle is summoned.
Mm-hmm. It seems like Carbuncle is now the default summon. It seems like that's what they're kind of going with, I think.
And this
Summon
is a
Ifrit.
90 ability?
Well, wait a minute. So, okay, so we're gonna take this from the beginning.
Okay.
So, level 2,
1.
summon Carbuncle. Basic bitch, blue Carbuncle.
Blue with red gem.
Accurate.
Continue.
Okay. Also level 2, Radiant Aegis. Or is a command for Carbuncle, creates a barrier around you that absorbs damage totaling 20% of your max HP. Requires Carby out. Nothing shocking there. Physic is still there. Ether Charge is still there. Ether Charge grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. Ether Charge must be used while in combat and while Carby is on the field.
Carby. Sorry.
Okay. Level 6, summon Ruby. Summons Ruby Carbuncle and orders it to execute Glittering Ruby. Rushes target and deals fire damage, potency 400. Grants 2 stacks of Fire Attunement. Fire Attunement makes Gemstone and Precious Brilliance become fire aspected. Can only be executed while under the effect of Ruby Arcanum and while Carby is summoned. Gem Shine, which is what uses those aspects I was talking about. Channel energy of your active elemental attunement to attack your enemy. Basically, if it's fire attuned, fire damage, earth attuned, earth damage, wind attuned, take a guess. So you still have Fester, which costs an ether gauge. You still have energy drain, which does not cost it grants ether flow. It actually grants ether flow rather than costing ether flow. And it also grants further ruin, which means it turns your ruin into further ruin.
Ruination.
Or no, ruin 2 into further ruin, I think.
One of those.
I'll deal with that later. Let's see, resurrection still normal. Summon Topaz. Summons Topaz Carbuncle and orders it to execute Glittering Topaz. Glittering Topaz rushes target and deals earth damage, potency 400. Grants 4 stacks of earth attunement. So Ruby grants 2 stacks of fire. Topaz grants 4 stacks of earth. Emerald, summon Emerald Carbuncle. This is 22 now, and orders it to do Glittering Emerald. Deals wind damage potency 400, grants 4 stacks of wind attunement. Outburst is AoE, unaspected. Precious Brilliance. Okay, so Gem Shine is single target attunement damage. Precious Brilliance is AoE attunement damage. Summon Ifrit. Summons Ifrit, orders it to execute Inferno, grants 2 stacks of fire attunement, requires Ruby Arcanum and Carby out. So yeah, the way it looks like it works is literally every single time you command a one of the, and it doesn't even it's still Eggies, but every time you command an Eggie, it looks like it's more like an evoker rather than a summoner, to use the old Final Fantasy logic.
It reminds
Okay.
it feels like they turned all the original 3, or maybe even the Carbuncles, the original summons, to be more like Bahamut and Phoenix later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you're evoking them rather than like keeping them as a pet.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that it looks like you keep out is just your basic bitch blue Carby.
Carby! Carby just is now. Wait. I know how to. Puka. It's Puka now.
Yes, Carby is now Puka.
For Eddie, Wild Arms 2, there's a character by the name of Tim who gets a aid by the name of Puka, who then, by the use of Puka, you use to summon the game's summons, the Guardians, from the mediums, which is the equivalent of basically the summoning stone.
Gotcha.
Okay,
So-
so let's see. So we've got, Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda, the first tiers, which are 30, 35, and 45 still. When you summon them, they each do a 600 potency. First target, 60% less all remaining in their individual element. So when you summon Ifrit, he now does Inferno. When you summon Titan, he now does Earth and Fury. When you summon Garuda, she now does Aerial Blast. And then each of them grant you stacks of their aspect. Let's see. Dreadworm Trance is still there. Changes Rune 3 to Astral Impulse and Outburst to Astral Flare. Dreadworm Trance also grants all 3 of the Arcanums. Astral Flow, change, let's see. Orders channel the energies of your active trance to perform one of several actions. So depending on which, if you're in Dreadworm Trance, if you're in Phoenix Trance, Astral Flow is your Death Flare or Rekindle. 4, Searing Light. Searing Light is a damage boost that Carby gives your party now. Last 30 seconds, 3% damage by self and nearby party.
Yo, what's up?
Kindle Bahamut, so you still have Othmorn. Try Disaster.
How you
And then,
doing,
as I
amigo? What's
mentioned,
up?
at 90, you've got the big boys. So it looks like it's probably just that Summon Ifrit becomes Summon Ifrit 2, Titan becomes Titan 2, and Garuda becomes Garuda 2. So here's the interesting thing, though.
Oh, hey, Osha! Or Oso. What's up, Eddie? So. Sorry to interrupt, Michael.
No worries. So Ifrit 2 is Summon Ruby Ifrit instead of Ifrit Eggy. Titan 2 is Topaz Titan instead of Titan Eggy. And Garuda 2 is Emerald Garuda instead of Garuda Eggy.
Name and
And in all
occupation.
three, sorry. And in all 3 cases, the damage output goes up as a result. Instead of being a 600 potency, it's a 700. Not seeing where these rights come in at though. On the fire for Fireburn. Sun Phoenix. Revelation.
Oh no!
Oh.
Somebody's jobless.
Ooh, like IRL.
No.
Okay.
They lost their job, Crystal?
I can't say because it's spoilers.
Okay. Thancred. It's getting a new job.
He went from being homeless and being a thief to being an Archon and then a Scion and then all these adventures and now he's jobless.
Don't forget being body snatched. That's important.
True. Well,
Yeah, that is true. Being
yes.
Liberia's puppet.
He wasn't the Ascian.
Also, yes, also, this is that because of one of our members.
Yep, we're friendly.
We are friendly.
And then
It helps with
apparently
the algorithm.
something happens at 86 where you can start getting the Primal's favors, and you unlock even cooler abilities. For Frit's favor, you get Crimson Cyclone, which is followed by Crimson Strike. For Titan, you get Mountain Buster. We know that one. And for Garuda, you get Slipstream.
I can't wait to actually play those. I can't
So
wait to
yeah,
actually use
Summoner-
them.
Is fucking complicated to read through. It'll probably will make a lot more sense once I actually play it.
Mm-hmm.
But dear God, it's a mess to read through.
In
But yeah,
other
they got
words,
rid of a
it
lot.
feels like
There's
the
no-
exact. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
It feels like the exact opposite of so many other classes of like, oh wow, this simplifies everything down.
And Sumner is now time to get out the the whiteboard and the markers and the string
Man,
and the push pins.
they almost should have given summoners like a quest line for us to follow to relearn everything or something. Because
It probably will.
It might have been some of the major changes that they did.
oh well. Yeah, it'll take a while to relearn it, but in the meantime, I had to prioritize, leveling up my Reaper now. Probably gonna keep Red Mage up there just because I like him. And then the next is gonna be probably my Dark Knight needs to be leveled up, and then Sage right behind that, and then everything else will come after that.
Oh, and by the way, you no longer have both Ruin 2 and Ruin 3. Ruin 2 is gone.
Yes, join us. Come to Endwalker. Don't stay in AR.
Which is actually awkward because Ruin 2 used to be the instant cast, and now it isn't even an instant cast anymore.
I
In
thought it
other
was
words,
4.
this class really has gone
No,
through
3?
a
No.
complete redesign.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, it has.
Exciting times.
Someday I'll get my Sumner out of ARR. Who's Oso, by the way? I feel like I should know them, Eddie.
Yeah, it's Alex.
Oh, Alex! Sorry, Alex! I still have to finish Metroid. Time to lick things! Must lick!
Oh, I just got that ability yesterday.
Where's the big one? I need to lick the big one.
The quest will actually force you to go to the big one, but it's also kind of northish of where you are.
Okay, so continue quest. I at least got one of them before venturing too far, so
Look, David, someone else who plays Metroid Dread. You have kinship.
Well, I've played some. I played it, and then I got sick, and then the incident happened. So I need to get back into it.
Actually, on that topic, is Metroid Dread not getting the love that I thought it was? I mean,
Oh,
it
it's
was
getting like 3 times the love.
okay. That's good. I swear I heard somebody randomly the other day saying that they weren't sure if Metroid Dread was getting the attention deserved, and it's like that sounds really weird, and that from what I've heard otherwise.
Well, in this case, they may have been referring to the fact that like it was 18 years since the last Metroid, proper Metroid.
Yeah.
I do need to make a correction to what I was saying earlier, by the way.
On what?
Oh,
So the summon Ruby, summon Topaz, summon Emerald only applies to Arcanist.
oh, okay.
Ruby, Topaz, and Emerald are still overridden by Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the last proper Metroid was Metroid Fusion, but if you, because like the only other Metroids we got from Fusion were Federation Forces. Oh God.
Didn't one of the primes come out after Fusion was released? At least
No,
one of the primes.
Two primes came actually after Fusion. Other M, yes. That's what. And then the remake of Metroid 2, which is Return of Samus. Especially since this is Metroid Dread is Metroid 5. Prime and Metroid Fusion came out the same day or same week at least. Prime 2 and Prime 3 did come out later, but Prime is not considered a main Metroid because it's actually considered a side story.
I feel like
Prime
that's
4
like
is on the way. Prime 4 is on the way, by the way.
Theoretically.
Well, given the fact that they had to
Have
rebuild
they
it from
released
scratch.
any other information on Prime?
Nope, none that I've heard.
A lot of people were expecting Prime 4 news to come out the day that they announced Dread, and instead we got, of course, the announcement of Metroid Dread, which admittedly is tiding people over and is getting great amounts of love. As of right now, people are thinking Nintendo may be announcing some news at either the Game Awards or sometime early 2022.
Okay, I didn't realize Prime was canonically taking place between 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Basically, timeline is Metroid, the Prime series, 2, 3, 4, 3, Other M, 4, and then Dread.
Are we gonna get one of those nice timeline count, wall scrolls like they did for Zelda? I think we need one now.
There might I think they did in
Metroid needs
Power.
Metroid needs a quote unquote official timeline.
No, there is an official timeline, and it's a lot easier than Zelda. Because it's all one line. There's no deviations, technically.
There's no, if you died in this game, then this is your new timeline. BS.
Correct. Because it's basically with the whole factor of physical amnesia. They finally named it in Dread, physical amnesia. Of Samus basically getting knocked out and losing half her items because they just pop out of her.
It's almost silly if it wasn't just like a game mechanic that I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, I mean, like after so many. My YouTube channel is speedrunning guides to Metroid Dread. Nice.
Oh, nice.
All right,
Oh.
I am gonna do something really quick because I want to try and see.
Throw the
this.
link up for that, by
I
the
can
way.
try and better explain it.
I mean, unless it's just the same name. Nice. I can just
What,
search that
class
on YouTube.
abilities?
Oh no, I was talking to Oso.
Well, I was talking to Faitaz.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm taking Summoner to my house, and I'm gonna beat on a dummy for a little bit.
Ooh.
So I
So
can
how's
kinda
your Saturday night?
play around with how this works.
Well, we sort of need to do it ourselves just to figure out our rotations, combinations, and like how we need to do stuff. I mean,
Wait, I
technically,
know
Ninja is relatively unchanged in that regard.
Yeah, Red Mage has some changes, but I got used to them real quick. I'm not too worried about jumping into our our boss fight with Red Mage. I
Yeah.
can do it.
Even if that's going to
Whatever,
be the
this
only
one's
thing we do
awesome.
tonight.
I mean, at this rate, yeah.
Also, gobbies.
Okay.
I just noticed there's gobbies here.
Thanks. I'm gonna
Definitely
look
check
that
it
up
out,
later.
Alex.
Copy. Where did my Chrome go?
Okay, so that's not making sense. What was it I needed? What did I read? Oh, where is that? Oh, that's the problem. I see what I'm missing. So that I'm gonna put on the
there's
bar.
Molly.
Dusty old memories.
Oh no, that is erased by that. Damn it.
Okay. It definitely sounds like Michael. I hate the quest accepted sound. It sounds so stupid.
Ooh, that's kind of cool looking. Okay, and now I've got those. So 5.
Am I reading this right? Guild ship hunt vendor?
Good shit, Lollipop?
I think so. And then 7. Okay, that's kind of cool. I can get behind that.
Oh.
And then Phoenix.
Rising.
Fountain of Fire. Kindle Phoenix. Which then unlocks again for me to go through the rotation again. Oh! Okay, I see you.
I was top 25 speed running in any percent.
I got
don't-
it.
Oh. That's kind of sad.
So high-end gameplay, the way it works is you have Carby out. You summon Bahamut, and you do your Bahamut rotation. And summoning Bahamut gives you the ability to summon the 3 primals. And then you go through and you summon them one at a time. And then you switch from using Bahamut to using Phoenix, which gives you your 3 primals back. And each time you summon the primals, you get one of the elemental attacks based on the primal you summoned.
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds about
So
right
it's
from what I saw from videos before.
Yeah, it's literally just merry-go-round going around, up and down, and now it's our turn.
I don't know if I want to summon Bahamut as part of a rotation.
It's pretty fun, no lie. It's a pretty fun summon.
Yeah, no, it's the best part of being a summoner.
I may switch to Red Mage. Or
I can
Rude Mage?
I can do it. Red Mage is great, but I'm biased.
Black Mage. Do Black Mage. Do Black Mage.
I'm
Boom,
doing
boom,
some
booms.
good damage here. And this is pretty numbers. This is pretty numbers. Now that I've got a handle on the rotation, this is some pretty fucking numbers.
But it's the implication of the lore summoning Bahamut. You're not
Well,
exactly summoning
You're
Bahamut.
summoning
Bahamut.
Demi Bahamut.
You're not actually summoning the primal Bahamut.
Exactly. You're summoning Demi Bahamut.
Although that being said, I'm surprised that like even within lore there aren't like passerbys or like the uneducated don't go like he's summoning Bahamut. What the fuck? What is that? That looks like Bahamut.
If you remember the job quest, literally that is the lore of Summoner in general. Is we spend all this time, you spend all this time going, hey, let's not be summoning primals, and then you start doing it yourself. Like, the fuck's your problem here, dude?
That's kind of why I feel like even though obviously I played Red Mage as my main for as much as possible, there's a part of me that thinks like Summoner makes a lot of poetic sense as the main character, just because it's like
Versus me and Black Mage and Gunburger.
You're going around stopping other people from summoning summons, and here you are. Here's your Demi Bahamut.
Exactly.
1,300.
I just remember how big it was to learn Bahamut and Magus Sisters in 10. Oh, that's right. They did announce that the Magus Sisters were going to be appearing in this X-Pack.
Ooh.
Because they did show off concept art for them.
I don't remember who those are. I don't remember that summon.
Link
the
Defense.
Final Fantasy?
The Magus Sisters were introduced in Final Fantasy IV, and I think they had appearances in.
No, for sure 10, like mentioned here, but I don't
10.
remember. I don't remember them in 10. I guess I didn't. Maybe because I didn't finish 10. Maybe that's why.
Well, that's because the Magus Sisters, I think, were maybe in 10 International Edition, which is now the 10 HD version.
Oh, okay. I haven't played it since back in the day.
They weren't in the base 10 game. I think I remember that because because they were added in. The only reason why I know about International Edition is that I had a friend who had it.
Mm.
And if you've been playing 10 on like any newer console, that's the International Edition. So it has all the additions that Japan got after releasing it internationally.
Man, that's so silly. International versions. Anyway, I'm gonna play Final Mix of Kingdom Hearts 3.
What you did there, I saw it.
It sort of takes me out of the game like WoW, where you are the Maw Walker, something that wasn't done in millennia. But you were only allowed to one death faction because even though you helped all 4 of them. Nope, you can help all the factions in this that they allow you to help.
Well,
So
it's not like you ever have to pick and choose, do you? In Final Fantasy 14.
Not really. Not that.
not really. I mean,
Although
you
I
can help
wanna-
Divulge,
I want to help Nero.
no,
You
no.
have to pick and
He-
choose against helping Nero.
The only time Nero helps is when he's fixing his own mistakes that he made or suggested.
That's okay. They're
Or
beautiful
when it
mistakes.
benefits him.
Thanks for the sub. Did
Thank you.
Sub him.
I did.
Other way around, Michael. We subbed him.
Oh. Okay, well, you're welcome then. I mean, I wasn't the one who made the decision, but you're welcome as the group.
I subbed him in
Number six.
YouTube if that makes a difference to you all.
Okay. Okay, so that type of sub. AKA follow.
Yes.
Ah, yes. The Archon loaf.
Ah, yes, Archon Love.
I actually want to taste the Archon loaf.
From the sounds
And
of
I've-
it, it's basically hardtack except slightly softer.
Good news, everyone. I broke 1,000.
Yay. I'm
Excellent.
kind of sad that the cookbook does not include Archon loaf. And I'm saddened by that.
Dude, David, that reminds me. Today I made my folks helped me make clam chowder for the first time ever from scratch, and it was great. I wish I had done
Oh,
it
yeah.
millions of years ago.
Yeah. Making things from scratch is amazing when you do it.
I mean, true, but like I couldn't believe how good it was. It was just so good, and I couldn't believe it. Like
Well,
again, I should have done it
I mean-
forever ago.
If you make things from scratch, you can personalize it very well to what you think
Sure,
is good
but
taste.
sometimes it doesn't turn out right, or it doesn't taste the same. But but this time it was like immediately fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's experimentation, Eddie. Sometimes you hit upon something really great, and then other times it's like you hit upon something that's okay.
Like, I thought I explained to you, like, I decided to do something experimental for Thanksgiving and ended up making sauteed zucchini.
No, I didn't hear about this.
Okay.
I
You
know
sauteed
told me
zucchini?
about it.
Yeah, I know. I told you about it. I thought I might have told Eddie about it, but I guess
Homemade
not.
chili sounds pretty good. You're right. That might be something I need to try next.
We need to
Yeah,
make our
that's-
chili.
That's usually very good,
Mm.
especially when you let it rest for long enough. Not rest.
Unfortunately, it has been an easy summer up here in Denver. That is kind of sad, Alex.
That's too bad.
Actually, question, Fates.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where do I
okay.
exchange
Easy winter. Okay.
So is
yellow
that good?
crafter scripts to white crafter scripts?
So if you go to Mordona, where you do the tome exchanges, the tent net to the left of it, the person on the left. However, be warned in advance that it is a 1-to-1 exchange. So if you have over 2,000 between the two, you're going to need to spend down before you do it, or you're going to
Okay,
want to.
David was saying that was a 2-to-1 exchange for tome
2-to-1 for
775.
allegories and revelations.
Yes, Allegory and Revelation to Poe was 2-to-1. Yellow to white is 1-to-1.
Crafters are different. They get
Okay.
nice exchange.
I need to do that at some point too. Exchange those, and also technically it's still fall, so I mean, winter
No,
will
it's
come.
December. It's winter.
It's not winter yet. Winter starts on the
No,
21st.
it's fall.
It's
Depending on where
December.
you're at.
December 21st is the solstice.
Yep.
So you do know that solstice means the shortest day of the year. Does not designate winter.
Yes, it does.
It is
What are you
also
talking about?
traditionally- It is also traditionally the designation of the first day of winter.
Yeah.
I've always heard it mid-winter.
No,
No,
it
no,
should
no.
be. If you were actually doing it properly, based on shortest day, longest day, and treating that as the height of summer is the longest day, the height of winter is the shortest day, then yes. However, the calendar that we use does not. The season.
I've been
of
using a
winter
different color than
on
you guys
December
have
21st.
then. Because I've probably been using a farmer's calendar then.
Maybe.
That
yeah,
is
because
possible, because a farmer's calendar would be based on the growing seasons, and we
Mhm.
are in winter as far as growing seasons.
So
oh geez.
last year we had
okay.
snow in September. Oh, yeah, that's Denver for you.
I mean, that's what you get for being up mile high.
I mean, he wants snow though. That's the thing. and
Move to
there's a lack
Boulder.
thereof. A
Move
lack
to
thereof.
Boulder.
Move to Boulder, he says.
Move to Boulder.
That's where my cousin Eddie's at right now, actually. I think it's
Boulder?
Yeah, he's in Colorado. I think it's Boulder. Maybe I got that wrong, but he's in Colorado for sure.
Is he in a much more mountainous area?
I don't recall. I just know he's there, and I thought it was Boulder.
He's somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, and narrows it down a lot, I'm sure.
I mean, just a whole state. Okay, so yeah, I've got a good grasp on Summoner now, so I can explain it better if you need me to explain it again.
Boulder is
It-
influence.
Maybe at one point, once I'm actually playing it, so I can actually like go through the muscle memory of it. But in the meantime,
Well, you're already at 600.
Oh.
which is-
yeah, almost there.
He-
Almost there.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's in Arvada. Yeah, that's closer to the mountains than Boulder is.
All right, I'll go ahead and get on White Mage because that's what's going to be needed for tonight.
Eddie's
Since
finally
we
in.
are under 1,000.
No, almost 600. Wait, David, you and your bro used to live out in that direction, right? Did I remember that
Yeah.
right?
We used to live in Littleton, which
Okay.
is a suburb of Denver. But we still have relatives in Colorado, so
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, that is much more than 30 minutes.
But yeah, we since we do have relatives, it's like we haven't. It's been a long while since we've visited up there because of work and other reasons. Time to lick the big jawbreaker.
The Forbidden Jawbreaker.
The forbidden jawbreaker.
Okay,
Actually,
Oh,
no,
right,
it
I'm
actually
only
looks more like a gusher.
I'm gonna be right back. Now that we're like nearing 500, I might we use a bio break so that we don't have to do this all over again.
You might have to do this all over again. Don't go away.
I don't know. I think this might be a good time to take a short break if you think you can walk away from it.
For me?
No, Eddie. I think he's talking about like doing a bio break or something.
Keep it open. We'll start yelling if something happens, but yeah, try and get your bio break in fast. No pooping.
No bio breaks for Eddie.
No pooping.
No poop for you.
No
I
poop.
don't know. It hasn't been doing the 202 stuff as nearly as hard as when we were trying to just about getting in. So, I think it's a bit safer for Eddie to do that.
Yeah, I feel
Hopefully.
it's safer for Eddie to do it. Okay, I'm gonna pop off to this side to get the 8th right here, because I don't think it's gonna bring me over here quite yet. Yeah, okay, that's the end of the thing, but I'm grabbing it. Okay, that was a weird graphical glitch, and I wish I could have captured it. I was going downhill to go back to the Aetherite, but Graha kept running straight. So he was going over so it looked like he was going up instead of, I was going down. he was
Yeah, no,
running
that,
into
that
it.
does happen, unfortunately.
Okay,
Also,
so it's,
welcome to Escort Quests, aka Olive Endwalker.
Oh no.
really?
Oh, Eddie's back.
Admittedly, like, escort quests in this one, like, they actually better. Uh-oh. I just lost audio.
Oh.
No?
Art.
Oh, game?
Game audio.
Okay.
It's overrated anyway.
No, it's
No,
not.
it
It's
isn't.
good music.
Ooh, 294.
Yeah, well, wow. We might
That
be
was a good
getting
jump.
in this in the next 5 minutes.
Ah. So, David,
Yay.
your initial call about 9 p.m. was pretty good. It was on
Okay.
point.
So
Yeah, but that was still an hour and a half almost.
Yeah, because of the hiccup. Yeah, it was 7:10 when I officially got into this queue. So we're at 2
Oh
hours
yeah,
and
that's
3
right.
minutes
You got
now.
knocked out of the first queue. You got logged in on.
Yep. So, okay, so what does that mean? Like, what, at least 2 hours ahead of time on Tuesday? I better be logged in.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not as bad on a weekday.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
Except
as long
that,
as Asmongold isn't streaming.
well, except that Tuesday's the 7th, right? That's official launch day. Am I getting my
but
dates
the
wrong?
thing is, most people that are gonna have the Endwalker content most likely pre-ordered. Like it is
Yeah.
very uncommon for people to get Endwalker to get in one of the 14 expansions and only start doing it on the day of the release.
I mean,
It's much
maybe.
more common for people to do the pre-release.
I think what you're mostly right about that. I think the only caveat here is that there's been such an explosion in the population of this
Popularity.
game since the last expansion that I think things might be a little bit different.
Kenpachi Ramasama.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just gonna take a screenshot and then maybe post it later. It's not gonna be
Oh.
very spoilerific, but it's a 73
Okay.
Reaper that the guy has definitely what's the term? Fantasiaed to be like our esteemed associate gentlemanly inspector
Oh,
in a pink dress.
A choice.
oh.
With
I'm-
slippers.
I feel like
Okay.
that
I'm
makes more
terribly
sense.
angry about this.
I don't know about the slippers. You lost me at the slippers.
Nah, I think the slippers might actually pull it all together.
I mean,
As
it's
a re-
something that would
Mm.
pop up in his adventures, I might say. Him being stuffed in a pink dress would probably happen.
Yeah, that's fine. But the
Maybe
slippers
one day.
should have good
Yes.
footwear.
Well, I think they were trying to go for ballerina shoes, but I think those are still locked to women.
Mm.
Maybe.
Well, you did say that some of the clothing things were no longer gendered.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of news about that.
Some of them, not all of them.
Just more choices,
They
I
may be
guess.
working.
Sorry.
They may be working on it. So
Yeah,
that
what I read seemed to sound like that the design was going to lean more towards neutrality for moving forward.
Yeah, they are. It's just the factor that they're working. They have to work on all of it, and those were the ones that they announced were the ones that they did get to.
Mm-hmm.
So not all. They will be doing them, I'm sure, but not all. They didn't get to all of them because this. I see an orange.
Oh, in Mordona.
No, in redacted. Oh, hey, it's Jeff.
Oh.
I should say hi to Jeff. Jeff.
Now
The friendly
the
neighborhood spoiler.
Spoiler Man does whatever spoiler can.
oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
I went from 146 to in. Okay.
And, oh my God, Jeff. Why do you have that as your hat?
All right, so whenever you're ready, I'm immediately ready to start.
Let me swap out of what I am, unless somebody wants to do tanking themselves.
Well, that would only be me or the other person. Paytest.
Yeah, and I would much sooner heal.
Well, I think you would like to learn. Well, there isn't much to learn about White Mage at this point.
No, there
We
really
learned.
is. White Mage did not change in as in a significant manner. Literally, all I have that is different is I lost one ability that I haven't really used on purpose well, no, I did in the long past, because Fluid Aura used to have a knockback plus bind, and now it's just and then it was just purely it was a damage knockback bind, and then they changed it to damage bind, and then they changed it to bind, and now they changed it to no longer exists.
A memory.
Yes. Which that one I'm okay with. There are some memories that I wish were still around. Press F for protect. And for stone skin.
Boom.
That's a good question. Does any class actually have reflect?
No.
I guess it would be too powerful.
Yeah, it would be a little OP.
Let's try
Well-
holy. For holy.
If it only
Boom.
reflected one spell or something like that, or only negated so much spell damage.
Okay, I like this.
Alright, so to confirm, is everyone ready for us to enter the fight with Gramps?
Yep, I'm
Yes.
I'm red mage.
I am in my ninja, yes.
I am in Gunburger.
Not there. There we go. The Dying Gasp.
What a name.
This should pop instantly.
Oh, wait.
No,
No,
not
it doesn't matter.
It does.
Pretty damn close.
2 tanks.
I don't know if
heal.
it's you or me, but one of us got us the near instant Q.
I really hope it's either or.
I mean, I really don't care as long as we're working together, because then we're guaranteed.
Here we
Here's
go.
the question. 2 Reapers? Or 1?
And is the other heal a sage? No.
No, and 1.
Screenshots.
We have
Screenshots.
1 Reaper and Astro.
I will leave Lear Scarlet to be our main tank.
Oh, wow.
And we have...
I'm afraid.
And our Astro is actually viewing the cutscene as well, so...
Interesting glamour. That's not what I
mine?
would have expected. No, the Reaper.
Going for a different vibe?
That's a very...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
heavenly vibe.
Yeah.
Hydurium Sickle. Okay.
Oh,
Alright,
here we go. Here we go. So nervous. Oh, I forgot to turn on the
Ready
music
move out of
on.
the way of stuff that you don't want to get hit by.
Oh, I don't like the rain.
This side?
I'm on a good side.
Oh, I didn't know what the good
okay.
side was. Holy crap.
You have to look
I
at the
was not
spearhead.
following along, but I still managed to pull it off.
Nope. Stay here. Nope. I barely dodged that.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Which one is it? Okay.
This one?
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Move to where the ones that drop are to avoid. I remember this.
Okay,
I
you said
don't
avoid.
really.
I thought it was stack on them to stop them from doing more damage.
No. This one. I remember this fight.
Well, he's already halfway down. But
Yeah, that's what I thought.
we're sort of
Baron,
screwed up.
oh, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, should I be rezzing?
May help.
Okay, so that's how that works.
No, don't get close to me. Oh, shoot. I didn't heal myself in time. So I'm out.
This may be a wipe.
Oof.
Murder harder. I'm trying my best. There goes Ishtar.
No healer.
Yeah.
Okay, which one? I want to stand in one. This way. Ow.
Okay, I see how that works now.
Yeah.
So definitely avoid
it's
those.
Large burst when the disc lands on the red spot.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be anywhere near the red spot when that happens.
Yeah.
Honestly, we really should just be wiping it out.
I think the Reaper
well-
realized what I just did to myself.
Well, the thing is, this is kind of nice to see what he's doing.
Well, there goes
if
the
you
Well,
pay
Reaper.
we're going to
attention.
get killed anyway, so.
Yeah.
Ah.
Ironically, it's at 20%.
But no, this is a good way to look at this attack. You look
You
for
have to
which
look at
way
it from the
the
sky.
spears. Yeah.
Yeah, I realize that now.
Because
I
like,
didn't
when
get
you
it.
look at the dead on, it's hard to see.
Yeah, I didn't get a good enough look at it, even then.
Yeah, I zoomed out to do it. Also,
Okay.
our other
I
tank
zoomed
has
as far as
the
I
weapon.
can.
I'd like to get my hat.
I zoomed as far as I can, but I can only zoom so freaking far, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And our other tank has what I'd like to get my hands on, but Bosja.
Okay, so
Okay.
spear wall.
Okay.
So pop onto the other side, and we're
Got it.
good.
Oh, okay. I think I maybe understood that.
Okay.
I'm still
I
not
understand
confident.
that now.
Oh.
Okay, he's doing a double. He's doing a gentleman's double.
Nope, 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 nope.
Oh god, get off me.
Oh, didn't
Ow.
see the other guy.
I didn't get too far out.
Fuck.
Stand on the
okay.
puddle.
Okay.
Here comes the dodge. That one I can avoid because I'm over here. Nope, I want to go that way.
Ah, damn it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, we're doing much better. We got this.
We've got both our healers.
We got literally everybody up.
Yeah.
Everybody's here.
Okay, bad fate. Spear wall.
I'm on a good
This side is
side.
good. Over here's happy.
Ah.
Oh god.
Not anymore.
Everyone have some healing. It's definitely good for you.
Ooh, what is this?
This is when he does the double eruption again.
Up, 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 up.
Hey.
Oh, right, this part.
Oh boy.
No.
Damn it. Ah.
Nope, nope,
Oh,
nope,
hey,
nope.
hey.
People, please stand on me.
Ah, we're gonna die. Oh no, we survived.
We were supposed to stand on that?
Yeah,
There was-
the arrow is in his stack.
Oh, I did not. Okay, good to know.
Basically, if anybody had like a AoE drop, no, don't stack. But if anybody had the stack marker on them, stack on them.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I got a stack.
Okay.
No circles. No circles.
Strain
Just
the
people
stack.
who don't.
I'm trying.
You're just saving my
I
life.
didn't realize there was a stack marker. I thought I only saw those.
Okay. Gonna stick close to
Dark
people.
floor.
That was scary.
Okay.
It's not a Final Fantasy if we only have one phase for the final boss.
Oh, please grow a wing.
I was thinking that.
Ah, shit. Oh, shit. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this.
There's still really ground there. There's real
Ugh.
ground under your feet.
Ugh.
Well, how about I up?
No. It's still Hades.
Well, the mask looks similar.
Jim Carrey, is that you?
I do like this about Emmett Self.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
I
bro.
believe you pronounced Bartandalus wrong.
Okay, that's now new.
Tetnomaki.
Okay.
Shadow Stream. I don't know where it's going.
It's down the straight. Aim different ways. Aim different ways. Okay, I thought that was
Echo of the Lost.
behind the arm. Everybody get behind the arm.
Ah.
Damn it, I did not make it there.
Good call.
This one,
Oh, is you want to be in the center.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is bad.
Okay. Satanomancy is just.
Oh, one yop.
Oh, don't. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. I didn't do that right. That was me. That was the. We needed to get both of them. I thought it was on somebody else.
Shoot.
Okay. Captivity.
I'm pretty sure I don't want to be in that.
Need a resi. Thank you.
There you go. Focus on that
Break
one.
the jail, break the jail, break the jail.
Considering that our other main tank is in it.
We broke it.
Okay. Okay.
Dual strike.
The circles mean anything?
Get in one.
Everyone survived. We're good. We're still doing good.
Everybody this side.
Shadow Stream
Okay,
is down
side.
the center.
Sides. Usually call Titanomancy.
And then
That's
Maki.
just everybody gets hurt.
Hellborn Yop.
Everybody in the center.
Echo of the Lost behind the arm.
Okay. Thankfully, this time it's closer to me.
I think I got hit. Dual strike.
Namaki.
Okay, find a spot and stick in it.
Oh. And then split up. And get ready for life in captivity. He's getting ready to jail someone.
Me?
Oh,
Me and...
lots of jail. Lots of
Oh,
jail.
everyone's jailed.
Oh, this
Oh,
one.
give me a press X to not die.
Hey.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I also think we lost somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one down.
That isn't too bad.
Light!
Oh.
Look how much light we have, Zodiac. You can't hit us.
Yeah!
Oh, it was the other healer.
Rez?
Dark Devourers. Okay.
That's just some static damage. Oh, is that it's just gonna keep doing that over and over?
Yeah. It's also going to get out of the dark. Get out of it, sir.
Where is the dark? I don't see the. Oh,
The center of place.
everything's the dark.
Might I recommend that we, okay. Somebody LB'd, please.
Yep.
Holy! I'm gonna cast Holy.
There we go.
Whew.
Okay, that was a
I'm
bad
definitely
start.
giving it to Lear, because he was a definitely good tank.
Half the problem is just trying to relearn how to play the game.
Yeah, I found out the
Ooh,
Gnashing
thanks.
Fang now changes to Savage Claw and Wicked Talon after, whenever you press it. So,
Into the portal we go.
and that's how you use the Light Warden's energy.
Hey,
Is that-
commendation.
but we're-
Also, congratulations.
I got
We're-
2 comms and I'm the off tank.
Nice.
How? I
got no comms as the healer that kept us alive that second run.
I'm sorry.
Eh.
I have no idea.
I
I
stole a
probably
bunch of
didn't.
your comms the other day.
True.
Don't say.
He did.
He sounds upset.
It actually.
And now I have to restart this quest.
You see MPX? It's the sunk costing we're talking about earlier.
Well, is this all the previous Emmett Silks? Or
No. Should I explain who Emmett Selk / Hades is?
I feel
After the cutscene, maybe.
I feel like the game does a good job of explaining it.
Thank Grid.
Thancred? Oh, Thancred.
I thought you were starting to say Hades Selk is Thancred, and I'm like, no. That explanation is incorrect.
It's possible, but not correct.
No, it's actually not possible because Emmett Selk is one of the 3 unsundered.
True.
And it would be rather screwy for Thancred to go back in time to become one of those.
Oh, hey, look, they woke up.
Infernal strength.
But now you are in 5.x.
Well, following the various cutscenes.
Yes.
Now, if you will excuse me, I will return momentarily.
I'm tempted to go get some.
Oh, by the way, time check. It is after 9.
Yes, 9:38. We've only been streaming for 2 hours technically.
Oh no, I was saying for you.
Oh, I don't have work tomorrow.
No, what about the health concerns?
No, the meds. Like yesterday was my final day for meds.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. All right,
okay.
BRB.
Use the Kamehameha. Use it. Or that. That works too.
Use the light.
We're a Shadowbringer though. Why are we using light?
Well, you
Because
need to
we're
have light
expelling
to
it.
cast shadow, don't you?
I like your answer, MPX.
Especially Hades, who's the Lord, who's in some instances referred to as the Lord of Shadow. And I'd say the falling platforms, also, I know it's kind of late to say this, but it's a bit better than the spears, which, to be honest, looking them dead on, is hard to gauge if they're pointing at you or away from you.
Oh, hi, Emmett. You're in your Organization 13 uniform.
Well, he did get rid of his flesh, so this should be what Emmett himself looks like.
Remember us.
Because remember, he said a sorcerer of Eld, which means
Well, I don't know.
he's not going to look normal.
That
Yeah.
we once lived.
But I do like that scene where the light just slowly looks like it's about to fail and then just pierces through.
Don't worry, Emmett. We're gonna make a video game about this, so you'll always be remembered.
Oh, trust me, we're not going to ever forget Emmett.
And returned.
So,
It's over. Emmett Salk is no more.
We did it.
More importantly,
Emmett finally showed up in his,
Oh, right. So,
What
all this time, whenever we've been doing stream, when I check the journal to kind of keep an eye on where you guys are,
it is.
I will go into the complete and then I hit R1 to get to the most recent expansion. And I'm like, why is this? Oh.
empty! Oh, right.
No, it's not. It's not empty. It's full of quests that I don't dare say the names of.
Hey, wait.
Right.
Wait, y'all, turn it down a bit. I can't hear the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Maybe you should turn them up, Eddie. Like the music.
Under the strain of that incredible flood of ether, your soul had begun to break apart. Yet now it
Good to
seems
see all the
somehow
forgettable characters from Ara.
I tried to help you before the battle, but Emmett Selk stopped me. So, how did you... Exactly what did you... Can you tell us what happened?
It's a long story. Read the book.
I had a friend.
Yes.
One more warrior of light amongst our ranks.
I like the second answer better.
I see.
Yeah, he looks fine. Walk it off.
Oh, hello. You've seen better days.
Where to start?
Today. Now.
I believe I owe you all an And you, most especially.
Okay, I like these choices. Wait, Go with the second one.
Same.
No arguments here.
And of course,
Lols. So where are we? Where did they leave us? Are we stranded here?
no,
What the
that's
fuck is
the-
this place?
that's the Prime World after it was destroyed by the Calamity. Can't you recognize the architecture?
Are we still in his creation? His creation
Yes.
persists
I think so.
his life?
Yes. It's not his creation. Well,
So those mad souls dove straight into the ocean over there, did
the best way I could describe it is
All I
like
could
how
see from
they
here was the
described it
one
before, is the factor
shut.
that the ruins of the first technically are still out in the various shards, except for the Prime, the first, because of the first receiving all of those astral and umbral calamities.
I believe you mean the source.
Source, you're right.
Well, that's
Not
why I
the
was
first.
trying to use the term Prime, because that was the whole world and not its shattered shards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the prime. Using it in that term, the prime would be the before Sundered.
Prime
Before
would
the
be
source.
before Sundered. Source is the one that is considered the largest piece.
Everything will be all right.
This lady is so nice.
I feel sad for her husband because he has to go through chiropractic every time. Crunch.
And we come back to the beginning of the game of
What?
being washed up on the beach.
How did we just walk stage right and then all of a sudden I'm on a beach? What the hell?
But you do know what Hades is, right?
It's a great game. I mean, I don't mind it.
No, not the game. Like what he is in this instance.
No, what is he in this instance?
He's the culmination of all the memories of the Unsundered. He's basically all of the undead, all of the dead souls.
Didn't think
Which is why he has the multiple mask motif. Is that he's the one that remembers all of the dead.
take me.
So we not only defeated Gramps, but we essentially defeated all of the unsundered Ascians in one fell swoop.
Except for
Essentially.
one.
Well, except for one, yeah.
Except for one.
He must have.
Because there is still one more boy out there.
But shouldn't we look
Oh,
at him?
that's where Orion J is.
He'll wash
Nowhere.
up sooner or later.
For the love of Alphino.
It is sort of funny that Alphino is a better swimmer than Orion J.
Oh god, does that come back up again? And I think it's funny is the fact that Alphino is a better swimmer than Alice, but he doesn't have the stamina.
The
Well, he
lights of
kept
Alpha
up.
will fade along with Emmett Selk's enchantments, and the depths shall be as once they were.
He's just dead tired. Needs a phoenix down.
KO'd because of swimming.
Mount Gulg will one day fall, and the Talos below yield to wind and rain.
Interesting. This isn't artwork.
No, it's crystal, isn't it?
This tale too will
Got an
fade
idea,
with
I think.
time, passing into legend as the world heals.
Also
and moves on.
feel.
Nevertheless,
So I kind of like also how they used the Exarch to kind of like in-game explain why I suddenly had a crew of people to fight Hades. Use magic to summon people from everywhere. Go!
as ether obeys the cycle, as death and decay gives way to new life,
Hey!
Oh, fortunate for him. That's fair.
He
Well.
didn't disappear.
Oh!
Well, that's not fair. I only saved one of them.
so too do the memories we share inspire others to rise to greatness.
Can try to save the rest.
For we who walk before may lead those
Or wait,
who walk.
that wasn't actually him, was it? That was just a poetic thing being done?
Hey, it's
The
handsome
road
man.
goes ever on, as does your story, as does your legacy.
Yeah, I think that was poetically an artistic thing, not a...
Yeah, magic exists. Who knows?
Yeah.
Such is the hero's lot, to touch the lives of countless others.
Excuse me? You're the warrior
Oh,
of
no.
darkness, aren't you?
Yes. Can't you see the eye mask I have? It's creepy. Of course I'm the Warrior of Darkness.
Where are you from, really? And how did you get to be so strong?
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups.
The secret is I kill a lot of people.
And things. Lots of death. And spilled so much blood.
Okay, I presume I can skip the credits.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Eating mom's cooking.
Mom's
I'm
spaghetti? Mom's spaghetti.
Of course, now this leads us with this problem.
Vanished from these skies, and the Senators driven to retreat. Although our many hurts will be years in the mending.
Getting everybody home. Oh, that's a different way of having them stored.
With no rejoining in prospect, the
Mhm.
force need no longer fear
If I can do this real quick and then still continue some story.
And with that, the future from which you came will no longer come to pass.
I'm gonna link
Yet
this.
here we still stand.
Oh, you
Mention
Shola.
Flicker's pendulums. Okay, this guy's got Sage to 80 already.
I wonder if that other age continues
Link.
onward somehow, cut adrift from time's flow.
Oh, they're talking about time
Take a
travel
look at
now.
how
Here we
those
go.
ones are stored.
Place upon some
Michael.
block of history.
Would you consider that the first type where they make, well, a second type where they just kind of store on the back?
I mean, they all store on the back.
Well, I
But
mean, like,
this
as a...
one- This one is, I have seen this style before, and you'll understand when you see it as well, and I'm not saying anything further.
Okay.
I believe I speak for us all when I say that we are happy to postpone our return.
Okay, now they're telling me to just finish off here at the designated location. But I want the other Aetherites. They all have got to have
Besides,
licks.
I never had any intention of rushing home. There are people here I still need to thank, and this means I might actually have time to do so.
Okay, it's nice to know that he had a plan for this.
Dare not neglect our comrades in the source. Mistress Tataru, to name but one, will be most anxious to know how things stand with us. So, you'll just have to make the journey alone for the moment. Be sure and give a full report to our fellow scientists.
Oh, hey.
I mean, but did he though?
Also appreciate any news you can bring us.
Then I see no reason to delay. I can open the path from here.
Unplanned passengers?
Should I tell them that I've been going home every day since we started this journey?
So let this be a farewell for us all.
Technically, I think it's been a month in here,
Send word when you've resummoned our friend.
or something close to it.
Oh, and do try to ensure he arrives within the city next time.
Of course. I shall strive for utmost accuracy. No strange forests or unplanned passengers, I promise.
Turtle, 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 turtle.
I'm a little relieved, to be honest. I would have been terribly lonely if everyone had suddenly disappeared.
Frosty Mogborn.
But I understand that you have to go. Safe journey, warrior of darkness. I hope to see you again soon.
No, Rin. We'll never see each other again. We can't pay all these voice actors this much money.
Just a moment while I attune the portal. Then you can be on your way.
Michael, quick question. Is there a quest that makes me go east, after going to the blah blah blah,
When I was a boy,
location
many long years ago,
with, my two companions?
I yearned to stand
Because there's
tall
one last Aetherite
as the
I need to grab.
heroes of Eld.
There's technically, if you haven't gone over to the eastern area, there are technically two.
West.
There's one
Western.
east and
Western. Sorry.
oh, west. Yes. When you are doing, when you're doing one of the branches, we'll
Okay.
have you go over there.
Okay. So back to blah 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 annex. Got it.
Yes. The annex is going to be the good place. Because that means that you're about to choose which path you go first.
A hero who looked at the horizon and beyond and saw I knew not what. All I knew was that I would give anything to stand
I'm
at
kind
that
of tempted
hero's
to actually
side.
go and grab some. I'm not. It's not necessarily ice cream, but my favorite ice cream treat. Small bowl of it.
Go ahead.
No, that's interesting.
Would that it was so.
Meanwhile,
Oh, I haven't got there yet. I'm just interesting that he can't go through the portal himself.
well, of course, he's bound to this crystal tower.
It is the courage to stretch out my hand.
Like, his entire plan revolved around his suicide. I don't think he was expecting to be here.
Do you hear me, Rahatia?
Yeah.
This is no time for sleeping.
anyway, back with Batman with axes.
Ha.
Oh, my
Meanwhile,
God. They actually did
meanwhile.
it. The Madman did it. So for those who don't know, free companies have access to different vessels for doing exploration missions between airships and submarines.
Ooh.
Is this a new system or?
This has been around since Heaven's Ward, actually. But it's something that you don't really, unless you're in a free company, you really don't pay attention to. Because it's kind of like a contained system. You get stuff from doing it that is only really beneficial for doing more of it.
Oh, hey, this stuff.
But the reason I made the comment I did is apparently my free company leader decided to name one of the subs, "You don't pay my submarine." He spent so long figuring out whether or not he
Xenos?
would.
These were your people.
Sorry, what? Xenos?
Took advantage of this
Xenos.
to slip into the palace. It is not for me to grieve them.
If he doesn't stop turning up like a bad penny, we're gonna end up with an entire saga about him.
That was the Emperor.
Thank you. Thank you. I think Asher hardware muted himself so that he could groan about that bad joke.
Hey
I
now.
think he's getting his treat.
Ah, yes, that's true. He did say.
Things are happening.
Well, then I guess he missed
I
all
wonder
of
if
this.
he's going to be
Ooh.
the final bad guy.
Ooh.
Gaius, you missed your part.
Maybe Xenos.
I don't know, obviously, since I'm not there, but I suspect that he's going to be more of like a secondary final bad guy. I don't think he's going to be the bad guy.
He's not going to be the sole bad guy?
And back.
Welcome
And
back.
Because I have a wireless headset.
A pity.
But
So you heard everything.
I heard everything. But the whole hardware mute thing, again,
Yeah.
being away from the keyboard doesn't help.
Oh, so we have real Xenos now. Okay.
MPX is correct in the factor that I was getting my treat.
Excellent.
What now? The game continues, but the
So what did you think? What did you think of the pun? That's the response I was expecting.
One downside is my treat is really hard to scoop out right now.
It is quite solidly cold.
Well,
Pack.
MPX. I'm trying to remember the name of this.
Daiquiri Ice.
Daiquiri Ice. I love Daiquiri Ice from Baskin Robbins.
tore a hole into the
But since it's more of a sherbet,
Mhm.
in Baskin Robbins, it kind of scoops very smoothly.
greedy son
We have our freezer super cold.
was a second life.
Don't ask me why. I'm not the one that said it.
What the Empire
So
truly
ice cream tends to
tries
turn
to
into
ignore.
pretty much rock unless it's a really cheap ice cream. So
True freedom for our nation,
and things like
our
sherbet,
people, will never be won by a spoiled prince.
unless they are unopened,
Throne is beyond you.
tend to turn to blocks of ice. So, and because I rarely get this, I have a very small bowl of daiquiri ice right now.
Simply holding the Empire together has occupied your limited faculties. But you may
So what I'm hearing is that if you want to get daiquiri ice at this point, because the container is opened, you pretty much need an ice pick.
the Empire's lands.
Not quite, but run the
Only to remove that,
the ice cream scoop under under warm water.
I will
Okay.
have my
So pull a
praise
Baskin
stolen
Robbins.
by your petty
Yeah.
wars and cowardly weapons.
Fair enough.
I just absolutely love this stuff, though.
Wait, got.
You would kill me just for that.
Just teleport.
I need no other reason. Any and all. who
So,
interfere with my
good news is that we, through starting 5.1, we may have another dungeon pretty much right away.
Oh.
Pretty much, actually.
Because the second quest of 5.1 unlocks another dungeon.
Who's Deno's hunting?
I heard the Asians speak of
He's
Zodiac,
hunting. He's thirsty
an island.
for battle.
Even the will of this star is but
Always.
a construct of our own making.
But
He
he's
wants-
outgrown his weakness.
He wants the greatest prey, and he's decided the greatest prey is us.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Contest shall
Tataru, why did you snub me?
I'm sure that's going
Oh.
to end well.
Okay, that's an interesting callback.
Mm.
If you never did Eureka, you would not have known about this relationship.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I got that. I got the response of, oh hey, yeah, you met her, and you'll have to say hi to her if you ever go back to finish up the exploration there.
Yeah.
Because I started it, and that's how that sentence ends.
Well, we're
Same
still
with Buzzja.
still in the Shadowbringers quest.
And
Oh, you're still actually in the quest Shadowbringers?
Mm-hmm.
are we in the quest Shadowbringers? Just got the Graha Dia doll.
I mean, I'm still in
And
it.
the moon. And the coward Elidibus.
Not coward.
He ran away from Xenos. Coward.
Jackery ice. Nummies.
Oh. A strategic withdrawal, not cowardice. Is Elidibus the 14th?
I don't think Elidibus is the 14th.
Elidibus is part of the council, but
Yay! Now I'm done with
we
the
have
quest.
no clue who the 14th is.
Hmm.
No clue whatsoever.
It hasn't been revealed.
Ooh, cutscene.
I mean, if you don't know, then it hasn't been revealed to you yet. That is accurate.
Wait. Xenos has remarkable strength. Is
Mhm.
he perhaps like as a almost orchestrated full soul?
I think in his case, it's more augmented a human.
Okay. Well, think about it. I mean, if they're trying to orchestrate stuff and he's part of the Garlean Empire, which was, Semedelk's
Pet project.
pet project, the idea of trying to recreate a full soul would be under his purview in a sense. I'm not saying that he is, because I think he does have a screw loose.
Yeah, I definitely see your point on that.
I
I
mean,
was
in
just trying
some
to think
ways,
because Emmett Selk really doesn't review look upon the kind of quote unquote children of the Garlean Empire as anything more than like kind of semi fondly because they're his progeny, but also with a little bit of disdain because they are still sundered.
Well, essentially, it's like pet rats.
Yeah. I would say that's accurate.
I don't know, it just sort of makes sense in a fashion. Put back together his world, even if it's at one soul at a time.
I think I'm gonna go right instead of left.
Okay, yeah, that's what I chose as well. Left
Okay.
is more kind of like intrigue.
Let's hurry up, and then you do the right one. It's like, meh.
Left is more like the intrigue, and right is more of the action. If based on the descriptions you're seeing here, right?
They were talking about rooms. By
Through
the way.
blazing skies give way to gentle night,
okay.
but hand can end the war
Oh,
of
so
dark
I'm
and
not
light.
at that. I'm not at that point yet. Then.
Not quite. No, no. Literally, the door on the right is your in room.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out.
Except
real quick,
you
though.
don't go actually to the. You talk to the attendant, not the check on the door.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. I like. It's fairly well apportioned.
I do like how they described it. It's like, oh, no, we called them that because like that's how some people had it, but sometimes those naps lasted. Sometimes those naps lasted well into the.
The
Oh,
next
I can't
day.
go. Yeah, I can't go into the nap room.
Why not?
Oh, I have to talk to him. Okay.
Yeah, I literally just said talk to the attendants.
I heard it the other way around.
The attendant talked to
Then
you?
You heard wrong.
No, you talk to the door instead of the attendant.
You talked
But
to
it
the
was like,
attendant instead of the door.
yeah. Oh wow, they miniaturized the orchestra on.
I know, isn't that cute? It's,
It's
your
like
little AM. It's your little AM orchestron. Little AM desk radio.
Oh, I haven't checked that.
And there's so many crystals strewn about this room. I feel not comfortable. It's like
They're
they're
just
trying
trying
to
to
summon,
align his chakras very, very aggressively.
they're trying to summon a primal in my room because there's at least one poster of one.
Oh God. I was
Oh,
about
hey.
to make a joke, but that joke could have also been potentially seen as a spoiler.
Spoilers. There's also a picture of a very majestic behemoth on a cliff face, roaring over the void. I feel like that's actually, that may actually be,
Now. Oh.
Yeah, that.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
That.
There's a reason I sent it in a tell.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Inside jokes. We don't want to
Okay.
spoil anything for two of the people in this group.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, like in a month.
Yeah, accurate.
Well, within the month.
I don't, not for me.
I would say
Maybe?
this.
Oh.
This might be early January. This might be early January.
Because we
By
got.
that time, you might be already finished with most of the story.
Well,
Yeah.
but this is a spoiler pertaining to stuff that we've both already done in Shadowbringers.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Yeah.
the 5X stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, time to talk.
Okay, moving on to the next quest
Concept
now.
art. That's what I was thinking of. Oh wow, that's a picture of Garuda. That's definitely concept art. Oh wow. Yeah, they definitely stuffed this room full of concept art.
Oh, by the way,
Um,
did anybody notice that the ether current compasses are discontinued now?
No.
Nope.
They're actually not.
They're
Oh,
under your
Um,
collection.
Yeah. If you go menu duty collection,
mm-hmm.
it's in there.
Then how come
If
my
you have it
icon
on
is
the
grayed out?
hotbar, normally you can set it back to the hotbar using that.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, the one in your key items is discontinued. That's what's discontinued.
Admittedly, you should not be taking enough quests to fill up your key item side of
Oh
things.
God,
which...
no. No, you literally can't. As many spots as you have for key item, you have literally, let's see, 7, 35, 105 spots for key items. If you somehow manage to fill that up, tell me how the fuck you did it. Because you should not, it should not be possible.
Ooh.
Cheats.
Go in first person mode.
Hacks.
Okay. So Ishgard may actually have the cheapest amount to transport to Charlian, given where its relation.
It would be possible, yeah, because you are talking geographically speaking.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, so that's where that is. The redacted country.
Oh, the other path?
Actually, no, this was shown off in trailers. Razad Han.
Ah, yes. Of the kingdom of Savnair.
Yeah. Garlemald, we've always known where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we have Authored, which we've explored, as well as the Burn, which that's actually a good portrait of the Burn. Which, yeah, the Burn would be bad because it leads to an ocean, which you could move from that direction into the Garlean Empire, but
Here. Good.
Well, I think if you're coming from that angle, you'd actually have to cross through Dalmasca.
yeah, you would either have to do Dalmasca, because trying to lug a boat through the Burn is not going to work.
Still locked in slumber.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Get stronger backs.
For the present, at least.
Or you'd have to go the long way around where the mountain range is to get to that area. But it also looks like there's another mountain range that's bordering that lake that's that borders the Burn, which that does not help either.
And then it was mentioned previously, I don't remember who said it, but the possibility of going by airship. And to that, I would remind of the battle above the Burn before we actually got access to that dungeon. Where the Emperor's Guard airship.
Oh, hey, the person is now there.
Which leads me to believe the instability will
Remember to exchange pose for endgame Shadowbringer's gear.
Though I can but speculate,
I'll do that later.
This may be a symptom of a weakening link between body.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory.
Yeah, no, this room is full of just concept art, and it's amazing.
Mercifully, the instability is still only slight, and you may rest assured Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power. Be that as it may.
So now that you've geeked out on that room, you're going to head over to the other room?
Oh no, that's the other room, the left room, the main hall.
Oh, okay.
The individual one does have a couple of just pieces of concept art, like the behemoth on the cliffside and the picture of a Freet in front of a either solar or lunar eclipse.
In your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Praha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked.
Okay.
I, for one, am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while. There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the first and apprise him and the others of the situation. We, meanwhile, will do what we can from here. And, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
Back to the first.
Also, we now have a proper pronunciation for the old man of the group from Final Fantasy V, Galuf, which I always thought that was pronounced Galoof. But
Galoof. The Galoof is on
it's
fire.
Galuf.
I was pronounced it Galuf, which obviously also incorrect.
Yeah. But good to know.
I mean, it's just one of those things that until you have voice acting, it's hard to say for sure what the correct pronunciation is.
Yeah.
Yay! I can buy new gear.
How long did we call Zidane Zidane?
Quite a long time.
Exactly.
And then Final Fantasy
Dissidia.
Dissidia.
And it was like, oh, it's Zidane? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, hell, there's still people, even with voice acting, there's still people who say Titus
instead of Titus.
Mm-hmm.
Then there, of course, I will never pronounce his name right because his name is forever Butts.
Ooh.
Instead of Bart.
No, it's
like
Butts. You were right the first time. It is Butts.
It's Butts.
This outfit's kind of nifty.
Yeah. Now you can now you guys have access to Crypt Lurker gear, which is Eddie. Since Eddie's on Red Mage, Crypt Lurker gear looks garbo. So,
but glamours are a thing.
Yeah, glamours are a thing. I've finally broken into glamours because fuck the Crypt Lurker gear. I am probably going to try and farm, not hard, but just farm the near raids for all the near gear because I like the looks. Plus they have normal pants, or semi-normal pants.
That's a weird hill to die on, but okay. Oh, by the way, one thing that has not come up tonight, and that may come up later tonight, depending on how you guys progress through 5.x story.
Mm-hmm.
Enemies in dungeons, trash mobs in dungeons, no longer are worth XP. Instead, they took that XP value for them and applied that to the bosses.
So trash mobs are now just sort of a really
annoyances
obstacle.
I actually did notice that the other day.
They may be worth cash, but they are not worth XP.
Yeah.
Well, cash is still cash, so a gil saved is a gil earned.
50 gil is 50 gil.
I noticed that yesterday because I ran a couple of dungeons as a blue mage and noticed that. Hi, Crystal Exarch. We just saw.
Oh. students of Valdesian is essentially the X-Files department of the FBI.
Magic FBI.
I feel like you're not wrong, but are also wrong for it.
I'm wrong for making the comparison, but I'm not wrong because it's exactly true.
It's more accurate than I would like, and that bothers me.
Since this is not necessarily a spoiler, they finally explain what the students of Valdesian does for Charlotte.
Yeah.
Which, as described by Kryl, was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics, ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, so somewhere out there, there's a couple of students of Valdesian whose names are very synonymous with Mulder and Scully.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed.
Well, there were.
They might have been off island at the time. They might have been off island.
Mistress Kryle's findings.
But
I just like the fact that means that the whole reason that the Isle of Val got whoopsied wasn't some nefarious Asian plot. It was they brought the wrong fucking thing back. They were trying to be the SCP and brought the wrong thing back.
They pressed the wrong button on the relic.
Kryle is right.
And so they oopsied the island halfway across the world, caught it into some type of magical vortex, which became Eureka. Congratulations.
And nobody survived from that.
Nope, but there's a whole bunch of monsters.
Adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded.
Okay, I'm definitely taking the right path.
I failed to latch onto my intended target.
Things
Adventure over in
linked. Things required to be linked.
Be careful what you lick out there. It's a bit sandy. One of my FC people compared it to Odergan from 11, and I can't unsee it.
And so long as I breathe, I will spare no
I think I remember watching you play Ergon, or at least wandered through it when you were doing the private server.
Probably.
Do you still have the information on the like how
I
to
need
set
to get
that up?
Oh,
or
I
no?
got a Hades card.
Oh, nice.
I need to clear up my inventory.
And no, I have not been. That was a piece of the puzzle.
Your followers await your divine judgment. What did you just...
Well, no, I was actually talking about like, do you still have the information on how to set up your own private server? And
maybe in theory, but
Upon the multiple failed attempts at transference,
okay.
I think it would behoove us to
Don't worry
focus
too
on
much about it.
solitary success.
yeah.
I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed.
God, I can't wait until we finally do.
Because in theory, I could probably do it, but in practice, I don't happen to have a blade server.
Oh, you don't have that type bid, so you'd need that type of server. And technically that type of server is outside of most of our paychecks.
Yeah, that's a bit. If I were to break it down into manageable payments, I'd probably be paying on it for the rest of my natural life. Maybe not quite that high, but it is up there.
Yeah.
Yet were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured. site or a site would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease. We would need only to ensure our
I'm trying to remember, was Rod's Atan mentioned in 12? I feel like it was. Or
I'm not sure, actually.
it sounds very familiar to me, and the only
Well, there's some stuff in this game that has Razat mentioned in flavor text. When you do the Alchemist quest, they mention it a couple times.
yeah, but I feel like Rod's Atan is a reference to another Final Fantasy, and the only one I could think of that's kind of close would be 12, because I feel like it has a relation to
Well, I've no
Rabanastre, but I know it wasn't in Tactics. Also, you were about to say something, NPR?
Waiting out here for the next dungeon. Going to go AFK for a bit.
Oh, you're ready to go into it?
Yeah, I've opened it up.
Nice.
Be back soon.
All right.
By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. You may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your
Okay,
return,
let's
we
see
have to
here.
try.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, Google search is not bringing up anything, so.
Yeah, and the FF Wiki is only referencing 14.
Yeah.
Although it does also reference Zodiac Braves, which is, of course, tactics. So it's possible there may be a relation between the world of tactics and Razat.
Well, Tactics on Rabanastre were much more direct.
We already know about that direct connection, yeah.
So this one might be a tertiary one? Because,
I mean,
admittedly, my memories of Tactics is a little fuzzy, but it could be possible that it is it's a location in Tactics that I just plumb forgot.
Oh, and here's a fun reference that we already alluded to earlier tonight. Under the entry for Razat, the three most revered deities on all of Thavnair are the three Manusha sisters. Cinderuva, Sandaruva, and Mindaruva.
Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy.
Ed and Eddie?
Sort of.
Ish. And I would, if you go looking for this article, I would strongly advise you not to, because there are heavy spoilers for literally what you're doing right now.
I found a thing that talked about it, but I tried looking over the article without reading too much, which, thank God, I didn't see much other than, it's a city! Alchemists! Things happen! Okay. But I couldn't find at least where I looked for.
I forgot about that. Nashmira, the dancer, the one that starts the dancer quests, hails from Thavnair.
Okay, I should probably pick a path and then get ready for
Duty
the
unlocked.
dungeon.
Yep, duty unlocked.
Okay, I'm still in cutscene.
I have a question while we're waiting. Is there a way to change my default facial expression?
Default?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's been bothering me for a while, but I feel like my
Okay.
character's face is a little
There
blank.
are emotes that change your face, but
Yeah, but do they stay on after?
Yeah.
Like,
They're usually only for like a few seconds.
If I wanted to give my character a resting bitch face, how can I make it happen?
Maybe with, I mean, you might actually have to like Fantasia that. Like maybe play around with it, see if you can, not with actual Fantasia, but like play around with like Character Creator, see if you can figure out a way to do it, and then if you find something you like, you can Fantasia to change to it.
Yes, I could. Wouldn't that be a great use of Fantasia?
That would be a use, yes. I used a Fantasia to become a Bun Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me, we didn't show that off on stream. We were just kind of into the thing. Ah, well. There'll be time for that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fire one of those. Oh, no,
I'm still in cutscene.
No. Well, go faster.
It's voiced.
So is that a no?
It was literally an auto no because he's in the cutscene. As soon as I saw it come up, and he immediately was a red X, I was like, yep, he's in the cutscene. He's in a scene of cutting. He will also likely need to become a tank unless Congo wants to tank.
Nah, I'm good. I mean, I just spent all the pose I currently have on my ninja.
Same.
And my tank is still wandering around in, it's only 422. So I don't know if it's qualified to start handling,
That
post.
dungeon requires 430, I believe.
It might.
I'm thinking and hoping I can get my Reaper up to snuff.
Yeah,
within a week.
It requires 430 unless we go in as a fully formed party, and then it'll let us fudge it.
Average item level 430, item level sync 470.
Yeah.
Okay, I am outside the cutscene. I've done it before. I am ready. I am going to just say, and I'm also a tank now.
All right, then away we go.
And I know what we're doing.
Welcome to the Grand Cosmos.
What a door.
Also known as Bismarck's back.
No.
For
You're
a
thinking
little
of something
bit.
else.
Oh. Oh. Oh, it's this one.
Interesting.
Just think, literally last week I had over 100. I had like 111,000 HP. Now I have 25k.
I had 140,000 for tank, and now he's just down to 40.
Yeah, life's unfair. I'm talking about me now.
Sweet.
Oh, actually, I should probably do that. sorry.
This is 80.
Holy wings.
And now I'm only doing 1,000 instead of 20,000.
Life is sad.
Yeah, it's not as bad as. the
I
World
wonder
of
what's gonna
Warcraft
pop
levels,
alive
which-
here.
Who could have ever predicted that tournament?
I'm shocked. Shocked.
I'm about to steal this armor off you. Never mind.
Trying to remember. Oh no, brooms. Swish, swish, shrew.
I don't want to be swept away.
Swish, swish, swee. Oh no. This is a horrible room. And they removed the chest there.
I don't think there ever was one. I just always double check to be safe.
I
Well-
swear there was a chest down there, but
So far, they only had chests after the first boss. Oh, oops.
did you take them off me?
Yes, aggro, please. Help.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you as a valid tank. You don't get healing.
Don't ask for healing. I'm asking for aggro change.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you as a valid tank.
Don't
Also,
need
Eddie, why are you
to
standing right
recognize
next to
as
me?
I don't know.
Secret of Solitude.
Spills and brooms. Watch out for when the brooms come sweeping across. Don't be in their line. And if there's a spill, don't be near it. That when the broom gets to it, it'll do a bigger AoE than what the spill is.
Okay, I'm super pissed. Hold it for a moment because my controller has lost its wireless connection.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll show off Bunny Boy.
Oh,
yeah, show
yes.
off Michael. Yeah, show off Michael.
Ooh. Ah.
Aren't I so
Ooh.
adorable? Yeah, I'm just switching to wire.
Great mask, great ears, great weapon, great all around, great everything, great.
For some odd reason, after a more recent update to Windows, my new wireless receiver for Xbox gets stupid hot, and it starts losing Wi-Fi connection.
Okay, Congo wants attention too. Okay, Congo, you can get attention. Here you go. Nice jacket. Nice
No, you
hat.
don't.
Oh, wait.
Ah.
Why don't you say something?
Because I'm the tank.
I mean, he raises a valid point. I do recognize him as a valid tank. Alright, spills. So be ready to dodge the brooms and be ready to stay away from the spills as much as possible. Or you get vulnerability stacks.
As shown by me being a dump button.
Oh, and stack. Do not letting you die. Unstack. Shadow Bolt doesn't sound like a tank buster, does it? But here we are.
Well, he is a mage, so. Okay.
Alright, here comes more stains. Put on these. What a mess, switcheroo! Ah! God damn it. Ooh, out of those. Stack it up.
Unstack! Run to random directions! Okay, he should be doing another swish swish swoop.
No, Anathema first. Now death stains.
Ah, what?
Ow.
Ah, god damn it. I tried to dodge one mechanic and it pushed
It
me
knocked you into another.
Yeah, relatable.
Everybody else is moved to where everybody else is.
And out. And it's over.
And nope. I may actually have to check gear to see if it's something I actually can use now.
How delightful. We're finally there. We're finally playing for realsies.
Oh no, Porxies! Bell Porxies. Wait, didn't these things used to have like little tiny bellhop hats? Or
not that I'm aware of.
I probably am misremembering then.
I believe you are indeed hallucinating.
Must be nice.
I mean, like, you can definitely see that on them, right?
I could imagine it, but That's some kind of Mandela.
Mandela effect.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh boy.
Cosmos Echoes are traditional bombs, and we'll do the traditional bomb thing.
Or we could just kill it fast enough.
Yep, I like that idea.
It is a bomb, Eddie. Sometimes that does not work.
But I like the idea.
These are Ochus and
Snapweed.
Snapweeds, which I think are
And
lesser
technically,
Ochus.
Yataveos aren't actually Ochus. They're in the same family, but they do behave differently.
I think there's a chest up here too.
Yeah, there's
No.
one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's up to the
Okay. Bending. No, can't handle it right now because we got Porxies.
These ones are paraports. Sir, I did not give you permission to take all this damage. You need to slow down with all that. Oh, holy shit! I just saw what change I got.
Oh, White Mage?
Yeah. I get 2 charges of thin air.
This is definitely worse than what I have.
I mean, I would frickin' hope so.
Yeah. Well, I haven't upgraded any of my gear for this. I just
Okay.
focused on Black Mage.
There is a very important mechanic that needs to be addressed. Aside from the normal stuff, like it has a gaze away, it will drop seedlings. If the seedlings are on grass, they will spawn into ads. You can pick them up and move them to dirt.
Like that one time that we were having fun without Michael. That
Yes.
fight.
Okay.
And then it does use a push mechanic, so you want to plan around that when it's doing that at the same time as the seedlings.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, for Eddie, no. Oh,
My timing is off on that. All right. got this one.
Getting this one then.
You're taking it where?
On dirt,
Just
dirt.
any dirt.
Drop it. There you go. So they'll try to spawn and fail.
Oh, there's a parable in here somewhere. Reminds me of church.
I was thinking of a more controversial topic, but
Fuck.
okay, everybody in. Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens when you stack those.
I wasn't trying to stack.
Okay. I think this time there's gonna be a push.
Okay, grabbing this one.
Yep, there is a
Ah,
push.
crap.
Grabbing
Moving
this
it.
one, and I'll put
Right.
it here. That one's gonna get bloom. Damn it.
They move
We
over
have one ad.
Okay, get concentrating
Okay.
on that.
I'm going to this corner. In. Everyone in. I'm going far corner.
Okay. Alright.
In. Alright, we got another set of seasons. I got this one right here.
Okay.
I got this one.
Put it on put it, make sure where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I know. They move over one block.
Yeah, Eddie didn't get that.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the close one because that.
And okay, we have an ad that's still active.
Sorry.
Okay, moment's respite.
Okay. Mechanics.
Mechanics.
Something specific for
Okay, don't need that.
possibly need it for people raising healing
Hey.
classes. Never trust fountain statues. I like how somehow we're doing this like the two bikers from a gang beating up on this dragon.
Unless your biker gangs you're thinking of is something like, from Japan.
Probably, because this is it's a very anime-esque game. Swish, swish, woo. Didn't really matter which way we went. Have to go. More porksies. Oh, hey. Nope, don't need that. Table. Oh man, I can't stand on the table.
Nope.
It's against the rules.
Ghosts.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Exactly what it sounded like was gonna happen.
Somebody go after Sir Mothbird.
Got it.
Because he's heals, I believe. And we want to take care of the heals, boy. Not the end of it.
Back.
Sir Hameth is... Okay.
Is this guy targeting me?
Yes, because the fact that I told people to try and go after the heals again. Casting. Courtly love. Okay,
Excuse me.
there. Need to get the hell out of here before they notice. Oh, they noticed Eddie.
I can't help if I'm attractive.
No,
Interesting
you're
that the
just
last
ugly.
boss is the first boss.
Ooh.
Lucas?
Okay, so this one has very, very specific mechanics that must be followed for us, any of us, to survive.
Yes. Mechanics.
So he has 2 different fiery attacks. When you get up here, you're gonna notice that there's the boss, but there's also a bunch of other random shit around.
Mm-hmm.
If you are targeted by a red fire, stay away from all of that.
All
If
objects.
you're targeted by if you're targeted by him for any reason, stay away from him from all of that, unless it is blue fire. If it is blue fire, go tag one of those and let it burn so that you don't. If we don't have enough of those to go around to get through the phases, we will wipe. It will kill all of us.
In other words, if we get too much blue fire, we'll die?
Well, literally, blue fire is pass it to an inanimate object or you die within a few seconds.
Ah. But red fire, come back over here or somewhere where there isn't anything to burn.
Exactly. And the red
Otherwise,
fire
we
will
waste.
usually create like a big cross AoE. So you want to make sure it's well away. Like right where we are right now, this kind of area is perfect for it. Because there's nothing here. Although, partway through the fight, chandeliers will drop. So make sure you're not dropping the red fire near those either. Because those are going to be needed for the second wave of blue fire.
How big are we talking about? Like as big as a Doton? Or is it like as wide as
like,
this?
it's about as wide as this.
Okay.
And it's a full cross, so it's like it's a full even arm cross.
Okay.
That is the main thing. As long as we can handle the fires properly, we should be good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Also, when he starts jumping around, oh, forgot about that. You're on his left side. Sorry, I forgot about the scorchings. Okay, away from flammables. Get out of it.
Okay.
Interesting.
And that's a flammable. We lost the drapery.
Oh, the drapes are another. Okay, good to know.
Holy crap! That was a lot.
And that's
Okay.
a blue. I'm
Blue
taking this
flame,
drape.
so
No,
drop
no,
it
you
over.
take the drape. I'll take the tool.
Sofa! I took a sofa.
Oh.
And Baron took a literally nothing and is ignoring the mechanics.
I wouldn't say ignore.
Yeah, I would. That is an accurate term for what you did.
Okay,
I'm trying to
what the heck
remember.
does this mean?
Is it's who's in order.
Yes,
Okay.
but also away from anything flammable.
So basically, right here.
Oh, I think I missed. Oh, no.
Oh,
I
one of
got
the
one
Oh
of
no,
the
you
sofas.
did a good job. Oh shit.
No, I got one of the sofas. So, not great.
It's okay. We're
Fact.
we're hanging in there. Scorching right. Shit. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Walked into it.
Sorry about that.
This one
Yeah.
may be a wipe.
Okay. I think this is a tank buster.
No, it was the oh, that's the AoE with the chandeliers. Okay.
Okay. Chandeliers are burnable.
Away from chandeliers.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
I'm
you
gonna take this
I'll
chandelier.
Take this chandelier.
I'll take this chandelier.
Eddie can watch how it works.
Are we all still alive?
Something
Everyone
much.
passed it on?
I think we all passed it on.
Then we should be. There should not be any more blue fires. So
Torching left.
Get off left. Get off left. Okay.
I'm 2.
Make sure you're far enough away that you're the tether
I'm
turns blue. By
3,
the way.
so I'm gonna put it.
I'm number
Over
2,
here.
so I'm just gonna keep him here and have him
Yeah,
face
you want to
me.
make sure the tether's far enough that it turns blue when he's jumping to you.
Okay. Nothing.
Okay.
Captive bolt. Not sure.
That's the tank buster.
Yeah, it did barely.
Well, that's
admittedly
because I
like.
shielded you.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Drop it. And get the fuck out. Culling Blade. I feel like Culling Blade is more of the tank buster.
No, that's the AoE.
Oh. Well, the name feels more tank bustery than.
It does. I agree. Get off his left. Get off
Stay
his
on
left,
right.
get off his
Stay on
left.
right.
Should be dropping the blue soon.
No, we're clear of blue now. Don't get too close to me.
Okay, I'm gonna go off in this corner.
Purple, purple. That's what I was saying. Make sure your tether turns blue.
Captive Bolt. Otherworldly
Okay,
Heat.
otherworldly heats. Drop them wherever and get away from them. Oh shit.
Ow.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
a
kind of
literal
bad.
Valley of hell. Off his left.
Left.
All right, I got first tether.
Third.
I've got second, so.
Again,
Good
make sure
windows.
that the tether is blue when he rushes towards you.
Oh, I know.
If the tether is purple, you will get vulnerability. Looks like everyone's got good tether range. Good, 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 good.
Captive Bolt.
There we go.
Ow. Also,
I mean, you can keep talking shit
no
on
more
it.
valleys of hell, people.
If you want to keep talking shit on Captive Bolt, I can just let you take the Tank Buster full to the face next time.
I'll just super bullseye it.
I'll just let you die.
You know I'm joking.
You know I'm not.
I know.
Off his right. Off his right.
Sorry, wasn't paying attention.
You're good. You're good. We moved.
Okay.
Fires remaining. I've got number 1, and I am blue.
At number 2.
I am 4. So I'm just gonna have him face this wall.
It works.
Changing that.
Also, shouldn't I just do this?
Yeah, that probably would have helped. Oh no, I set the piano on fire.
Okay,
Well,
got
good thing it
damage.
doesn't matter anymore.
And a couch. No, we only have 1 sofa left.
And good job, everyone. We made it through.
Pants for Sage.
Conveniently, since I already have better AD healer pants.
Yeah. I'm half tempted to reorder the wireless dongle because when I first ordered it, the box came in smashed.
Oof.
So I'm not sure if something may have caused problems with this dongle at one point. Or if it's just, I need to not put it in a USB hub.
I mean, that is also possible.
I mean, one option I could do is just plug it in and plug it into one of the USB ports I have on one of my external drives and see how that works. Let's see how that works.
Oh, he was trying to be scary.
Yeah. He's not a bad guy. It's just...
Well, he was called a pneumo, and it's like, well, it doesn't look like a pneumo.
Giant pneumo.
Beckloak, 'tis good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Sake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge of the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus! It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men. You are sinners, one and all. I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Numo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye
Puns
to the
don't
plight
work.
of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to...
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, 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 no! I mustn't. Not again. That damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety. Oh, you know not what you ask of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought.
I don't care for these choices.
You wish only to save your friends? Nothing more? Do you swear it?
No. No.
Oh, very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my trouble.
Commensurate with your contribution
Okay, with
to
this
our
would
cause.
be
No
we'd be
more,
calling it
no
quits
less,
for
I
tonight.
promise you. With that settled, Might
Yeah.
I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my
Okay,
friend's
that's
predicament
strange.
calls for absolute secrecy.
Okay, so I try and connect the USB storage for, and then try and connect it up. Windows is not recognizing it, which worries me.
Yeah, that is concerning.
Actually, you know what? I'm actually just gonna remove the Steam Wi-Fi dongle. Minimize the amount of radio interference.
Okay. Quest complete. So with that, we can go ahead and call it tonight, and then pick up on Tuesday.
All right, sounds good.
I'm
And,
definitely staying in for a bit because
Yeah, make use of the 2-hour queue time.
Yeah, we're already in. Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and cut the stream off. Everyone have a
Well,
good
it's
night.
probably not 2 hours now, but it's probably still like 30 minutes, maybe.
Probably.